2973.
The U.S. military commander for the Mideast reportedly headed to Israel to discuss intelligence that Iran could be about to strike Israel for an attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria, an attack that Iran blames on Israel.
It's interesting that the Americans are showing so vociferously that they want to be part of any Israeli response if needs be. That, of course, is part of deterrence as far as they're concerned. I have to say, Iran tends to move in quite unexpected ways, and the suggestion that they might, almost by appointment, launch a missile strike directly on Israel in the teeth of these warnings from America, when the Iranians have made it very clear they do not want an all-out war in the Middle East.
The BBC's Jeremy Bowen. An avalanche near an Austrian ski resort has left one person dead. Rescuers now searching for another two people believed to be buried beneath the snow. News and analysis, townhall.com. For the fourth time in state history, the no fishing sign is out in California.
Federal fishery managers voted to cancel all commercial and recreational salmon fishing off the coast for the second year in a row because of dwindling stocks. Wednesday's unanimous vote by the Pacific Fishery Management Council is a blow to the state fishing industry that supports tens of thousands of jobs. Like 2023, this year's decision was made in order to protect California's waning salmon populations after drought and water diversions resulted in river flows that are too warm and slow for the state's Chinook salmon to flourish. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Following last night's White House state dinner, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is headed to Congress. He'll address U.S. lawmakers on the importance of keeping a strong partnership between the U.S. and Japan, this at a time when tensions are on the rise across the Asia-Pacific region. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to it. Nice day, sunny out. I don't even see a cloud in the sky out my window this morning. Pretty nice and sunny today, so happy Thursday. Of course, yesterday, if you're tuning into the show, much of it was kind of, at least a couple hours of it anyway, we were showcasing and focusing a lot on the Every 15 Minutes program that the Chaves County the DWI program does each year in schools around the county. And it's a very moving program, very, it's rough for some folks because it's dealing with the consequences of drunk driving and showing students the impact from all angles of a drunk driving accident. The accident itself, to the first responders, to the consequences of the families and the legal side of it afterwards. So it's a whole, matter of fact, it continues today. But this year they did it at Dexter High School. So yesterday at Dexter, they had all of the law enforcement and EMS come out and do their event and everything. Of course, Sheriff Mike Carrington was awesome and gave us a little play-by-play during the event. And matter of fact, we had our Tanner, our camera guy there, recording with the sheriff, and they're going to work on something here this week to put all that together and make it available for folks to watch online too, so you can kind of get a visual if you couldn't be out at Dexter High School yesterday for the every 15 minutes event. So, but yeah, that was yesterday. And have you ever participated in that, Roy, in your days in school? See, I didn't have it in Maryland when I went to school.
No, I don't think they had it back then.
But you went to school here, so I didn't know if you. And of course, you may have just not caught your school in the years you were there too.
No,
so.
yeah, I don't think they had. They had it when I was in.
Okay, I know Sean said he remembers in his days of Roswell High. Of course, that was moons ago. But you're a little bit more recently in school than he was, so I didn't know if you remember anything about it. So
I remember like something like people dying every 3 seconds
yeah,
or something, but I think that was from...
Was that a different thing?
That was probably a different thing.
Yeah, this is the every 15 minutes, and then they may have done it a little different over the years. You know, like Sean was saying, you know, it was a little bit different when he was in, how they pull you in class during the day. They'd pull the students that were, quote unquote, you know, dying. And
yeah, this was in my government class, so I think it was something different.
Yeah, it sounds like it is something different. This is something for the whole school. It was a school-wide thing they did. You may have just not happened at your school. What school did you go to?
Goddard.
You're a Goddard grad. Okay, cool. Yeah, he was a Roswell High. It may have just not been the years you were there at Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard. Yeah.
But I've
which they did not do that at all until like last year.
That's a new thing. I don't know. I'm not up with that. I can barely keep up with the things I did in high school back, well, a while ago. So, but yeah, that was yesterday, and I hope, especially for the families that were directly involved in the event yesterday, talking with your families about it, and you know, really sitting down with your kids and the family and just talking about that kind of stuff. So, I know it's not pleasant conversations to have, and it's stuff. You know, no one wants to talk about, but it's much better to talk about it and have an understanding and perhaps avoid it than seeing the consequences of not doing that. So, but yeah, it was a big success yesterday, and I think I got a chance to talk with the sheriff yesterday afternoon briefly, and he was kind of just saying, yeah, he goes, I think some people were impacted yesterday. You're just seeing the crowd and seeing people's visceral reactions to what's going on and just how they're taking it in. He goes like, yeah, I think we resonated with some people on yesterday. So that's the whole point. If they can save one person from going down that path, and then yesterday's a huge success. So big thank you to the.
This is just poor driving, right?
No, this is drunk driving.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they do it to show students that impact of, you know, drinking and driving, and you know obviously high school kids right on that age, especially seniors. You know, we were all there once. That's the peak age group of people that tend to get involved in these kinds of things. So, not saying they're the only ones, but they're the ones we're trying to reach before they start being adults and, you know, doing more of their own decisions.
You just made me think. Like my high school wasn't very friendly or like fun. No, like like they didn't do fun stuff like they do now. Like the
maybe
kids,
just missed it.
Like the kids, the students, they're lucky now. They have all these catchphrases and all these things.
See, I had all of that, just different
and stuff.
Yeah.
You had that. Well, you went to Maryland.
Yeah,
stuff,
I mean, I had catchphrases. I mean, I'm a living catchphrase. I mean, I don't know how many times I say "good deal" or 12 other different things I say.
But like, yeah, I think I was born like a couple years too early, because like these Gen Z kids, they it seems like they got like all the like school is nicer now.
Yeah. Well, they have more amenities or different amenities than we had, but that's just technology. You know?
Yeah, like people know not to bully each other anymore. People are nicer in general.
Yeah, I hope that's true.
That's how it feels to me anyway.
Okay, well, good. I hope that's true. I don't know if it is.
I mean, some schools are exceptions, but you know.
I just think bullying's shifted to a different type of bullying. I think bullying's there. I think it's just you don't have the big kid taking your lunch money anymore. It's a different type of bullying.
Yeah.
You don't have the big guy that's give me your lunch money.
Well, I think internet culture changed everything.
Absolutely. Too. Yeah, I think it's more diabolical. That's probably our guess. You know, with the advent of social media and all that stuff, absolutely. I think it gets a little more diabolical there. We do have a full slate for you for today's show. Let me give you the rundown. Here this hour in just a little bit, we're going to be joined in studio by New Mexico State Representative Jared Hembry. Jared is represents District 59 in the New Mexico State House. He was appointed to the position at the beginning of the year. He replaced Greg Nybert, who was the former representative in that seat, who's now moved on to the Senate. So Jared currently serves as the House 59 seat there. Of course, he has to run for re-election. His term ends at the end of the year, finishing out Greg Nybert's term. But we'll get a chance to talk with Jared, to talk about his first couple months in office, and talk just a little bit about about him and everything else, the man that's representing folks in District 59. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. Their next meeting will be Wednesday of next week, and they're going to have some of our CD1, I think CD3 candidates that will be speaking at the event, and some others. They talk about it during the interview, so we'll play that for you here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then around 9:15 or so, Aaron Dishman with Roswell Ford will join us, give us an update what's happening over at Roswell Ford with all their deals, sales, incentives, and good stuff happening there. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the newses of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business update, all the other stuff, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Real quick, before we get you into your weather, don't forget that coming up April 20th and 21st is the Roswell Honda Classic Charity Golf Tournament. It's going to be happening at the Spring River Golf Course. You can still sign up your teams. Go to the Spring River Golf Course Pro Shop to sign up your 3-person golf scramble. It's a 2-day scramble. It'll begin Saturday at 8 a.m. with a shotgun start, and then 9 a.m. with a shotgun start on Sunday. They're also going to do a golf ball drop with the friends at Trans Aero Medevac. That will be happening, I believe, on Sunday. They're going to be awarding prizes for first, second, and third place, plus closest to the pin and longest drive as well. You could register they're doing a closest to the pin with the new Honda HR-V driver and putter with a hole-in-one event also. Plus, there's going to be all kinds of food, beer, and things from Albertsons and Admiral Beverage as well, too. If you want to register, you can go to Roswell to the Roswell Honda, either to their facility there. If you want to sponsor or anything like that, you can do that all there. But if you just want to sign up to golf, you can do that through the Pro Shop as well. But that's April 20th and 21st out at Spring River Golf Course for this year's Honda Classic. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, 7:15. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in the upper 70s to about 80 on the afternoon high today. High pressure settling into the Four Corners area. That'll hang around through the weekend. Clear tonight, and we're in the low to mid 40s, and then low 80s for the afternoon high on Friday. A little bit more breezy, but plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday both look sunny and warm. Our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 42 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 73%. Winds currently out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Nice day today. No complaints here. Sunny skies, a high of 77 degrees expected. Winds out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. They will shift to the south later this afternoon. Skies will be clear tonight. Expect an overnight low of 43 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Friday, sunny, warm, but windy. Expect highs near 84 tomorrow, but winds will be out of the south early 5 to 10 miles per hour. But as the day progresses, those winds will increase 15 to 20. Could see wind gusts as high as 30 miles per hour Friday afternoon. Friday night, mostly clear. Expect an overnight low of 51 degrees. Winds will remain breezy out of the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Those winds will drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. Then for the weekend on Saturday, sunny and 85. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly sunny and 88 on Sunday. And Monday when you head back to work and school, sunny and 83. But winds, could see patchy blowing dust, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're looking at for at least the next several days. It is 17 minutes after 7. I believe our guest is here, so let's do this. Let's take a quick about 2.5 minute break. and then we will talk with State Rep Jared Hembry on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. What you're about to hear will totally blow your mind.
It's the grand reopening at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude.
I interrupt this commercial for more breaking news.
Attention car buyers. The all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade, and we need them now. So there's never been a better time to trade and upgrade to a new Ford or quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for less. Making payments on your current vehicle and you want out early, even if your current car is rusted, busted, and can't be trusted. Roswell Ford wants to spring you out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about payment or interest rate? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more lenders that can help with all types of credit, with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Get pre-approved today at RoswellFord.com. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or visit us online at RoswellFord.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. Equal Opportunity Employer.
The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop invites you to move on in and check out the fantastic selection of threads, fabrics, and patterns. Take advantage of a huge sale on Brother sewing machines. If you just want a tune-up on your own machine, bring it on over for in-house maintenance. And with free lessons at the Calico Cow, you can learn from some of the absolute best. Let's keep the tradition and art of sewing going. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell, right behind Farley's. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
The University of New Mexico. It's the state's flagship, a world-class university right here in Albuquerque. Apply for admission at UNM today at unm.edu. That's unm.edu. The University of New Mexico is the university for opportunity.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, state representative here for New Mexico, representing District 59, Jared Hembry, joining us this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you, Mike.
Good
How are
deal.
you?
Doing great. Of course, Jared has been state rep here. He, when Greg Nybert, who formerly held that seat, the District 59 seat, he moved over to the state Senate here. So Jared was appointed here at the beginning of the year, and will serve out the rest of the term, which is through this year, and then is running for a re-election for his own bid for the seat there. So
yeah.
So first off, good morning, welcome, and so I got to ask first question. What was your decision to say, you know what, I want to be considered for this seat? What was it that decided to make you throw your hat in the ring?
Yeah. There were a number of things. It's something I'd always kind of kicked around, was sort of being in politics. But, the timing was right.
Gotcha.
Sometimes politics, whether you get in or get out
Sure.
or whatever, is just timing.
Sure.
And for my family,
the way your life was lining up and the way it just all the planets were aligning, so to speak.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, lived here almost 20 years, been a part of the community. My wife and I have done a lot of things, from the Roswell Museum and Art Center, the public library, Girl Scouts, Eastern New Mexico State Fair. It was just...
You just invested your family in the community, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, it was another way I felt like I could give back to this community that's been so welcoming to us over the years. That's one of the things I've loved about Roswell, is how easy we found it to sort of integrate into the community and become part of it.
Sure. I can relate. I moved here about 2000, so I've been here about almost 25 years now, and similar kind of story there. You fall. I met my wife, and that's how I ended up here. But you kind of settle in, and you accepted exactly what you're saying, and I experienced as well. So, yeah absolutely. Of course, for folks that aren't familiar, your day job is an attorney.
Yes.
So you spent, as an attorney, that's state reps and things. They have day jobs, as intended.
Absolutely.
So, so just talk a little bit about your day job and give your experience there as an attorney and kind of some of the things you do when you're not being a representative here.
So I am an attorney. I'm an oil and gas attorney.
Okay.
And, we came here right out of law school. Well, actually, I interned here 20 years ago this summer, 2004.
So you did have a prequel before you got to come out and set roots down.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It didn't just come out sight unseen.
Sight unseen, which some people have, and it's a culture shock if you're not used to desert. I'll tell you, I'm one of those people. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I went to law school in Virginia. My wife and I met at Montana State, and she's a Montana girl, and
which is nothing like Virginia.
No, no, and
two polar opposites.
Yeah, and so after a few years there, she really was, we need to get back out west. It's beautiful there, but the trees, there's so many trees.
Sure.
All you see is the sliver of sky.
And I get what you're saying and this is something I think people that live out here that have never experienced East Coast. Yeah, you don't get how everything's so spread out here, and how you get back east and everything's on top of each other and up. It's that's why New York City looks the way it does. That's why Philadelphia looks the way it does. Is because that's where the population migrated, and some trickled west, some are there. You know what I mean? It's a different style of living there. You don't wake up and see open space and things. You don't see the moon the size of Montana like you do in the movies back east or here.
Right.
It's a different world.
Yeah. And so we started looking back out west and everything aligned, and we ended up here in Roswell.
That's great.
Like I said, I do oil and gas work primarily.
So when you were in college and, getting your law degree, was oil and gas did it find you, or was that always the plan?
No, it found me.
Gotcha.
It was, I was sort of getting done and was like, have law degree, will travel kind of deal.
I didn't know if you're thinking like when you go to law school, you're thinking I'm going to be Raymond Burr or something like that, or you're like, no, I want to get into oil law and kind of, I'm not so much into the Matlock thing, like, because oil and gas isn't exactly going to have a pivotal trial every week like you see on TV here. So.
Right. Yeah. No. Some people do go through like that. And they're like, oh, this is exactly, they know what they want to do.
Sure.
I sort of drifted through it and was.
Well, and there's so many facets of law that, you get 12 lawyers in a room. There's 12 different jobs there, and none of them are really similar, even though they're all lawyers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it found me, even when I got here and actually started, I was actually doing a little more litigation work. We represent counties and municipalities, police department, sheriff's department.
So a lot of government and
someone puts the handcuffs on too tight, and that's excessive force, and someone sues.
Sure.
And so we defended a lot of those cases. And
and then obviously as a representative, that's a lot of experience here, because this is the very stuff they're talking about. What laws are good, what are bad, and you're seeing it from the other side too, as an attorney here. So.
Yeah, and so I did a little bit of that early in my career, and then kind of just drifted into the oil and gas work.
Okay.
But it was good experience, and I was able to see things a little differently, where someone had an interaction with a police officer.
Gotcha.
And they weren't happy with it for whatever reason. And so they sue, and you get to see both sides of those stories, and you really see that sheriff's deputies, police officers, they're making split-second decisions that are life and death decisions as to whether they go home to their families that night, or someone else.
Absolutely, yeah. Their job and what they do is a little bit different that way.
Yeah,
and you have to consider that, and I'm guessing, because of your experience, that opens your eyes to that. It's like, you know what? Yeah. Sure, they can do something wrong, but at the same time, you gotta you got to understand from the perspective here, and intent is a big deal here.
Absolutely. And it did, as you said, it really opened my eyes. It gave me a whole different level of respect for what these men and women do on a day-to-day basis. So
is that kind of part of why you decide to take this next level and say, where I'm at the courtroom, I can only do so much here, but being in the room where the laws are being made, I can actually make a difference.
I think so. I think it's sort of a culmination of all my experiences, and I know that played into it. There's a lot of weird things going on in New Mexico and Santa Fe, and there's a whole contingent of state representatives up there that are very, they don't believe in the criminal justice system as punishment. It ought to be rehabilitation, and I understand people make mistakes, and there's room for rehabilitation.
Sure.
But anytime we try and, we saw it this last session where we got the maximum sentence for second-degree murder raised from 15 years to 18 years. 3 years, that's it. And it was a fight.
Just to get that.
Colorado, I believe, is like 25 to life on second-degree murder. Most of our surrounding states are somewhere in that ballpark,
Absolutely.
And we were at 15.
Absolutely. Well, and I get what you're saying here. It's almost like you need both a little bit, because obviously certain people you want to rehabilitate. It was a mistake. It was something. Let's not ruin the life. Let's find them. And we can't, but you're right. We can't treat, if there's someone that's history after history after history, clearly that's not working.
Right.
Why are we doing the same thing? So it's law is not a box that we can put everybody in. That's however, we gotta do something for the greater good. So you kind of have to create boxes. That's just the only way you can do what's for the greater good here. But we got to find that balance, really, the punishment, because like you saying, you look at Colorado, you look at there's no teeth to it. What deterrent is there from an end to? It's like, well, great, I'm going to murder someone. I might do a couple years.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a trade-off I'm willing to pay. And people are rationalizing it that way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that all those things factor into people's decisions.
Sure.
And it surprised me that there were people there who seemingly put the rights of criminals ahead of the rights of victims.
It's like everyone's, from the outside looking, it almost feels like some people are just believing in alternate reality sometimes. Like in their head, it should be this way, therefore I'm going to believe that's how the world is. And I'm like, yeah, in my head, I'd love everyone to have gumdrop trees and everything else, but it's not going to happen. What I want, what's going to happen and so there's, I feel like some people just out of touch of reality sometimes because they want a fantasy world so great, which on paper, yeah, love that too.
Sure.
Want the kumbaya and utopia and all that, but we're humans. Don't work that way. So that's where I feel like it's almost like a naivete, almost a little bit, and that's where we need some experience in things, and people say, look, I love what you're thinking, but this is the real world. We can't do it that way. And you need some of those people in the room in Santa Fe, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need more of them in Santa Fe.
So let me ask now, you've gone through your first session here, kind of, I mean, if anybody kind of got it sort of thrown to the wolves in here, you literally said, hey, welcome to the seat. You're going to Santa Fe. See you tomorrow. See you in a month.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah.
So how was that experience for you?
Overall, it was a good experience, and the farther away I get from it, the better it looks.
Yeah.
One of those things. But it was, I got appointed on July 11th. January 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the session started January 16th.
Exactly. So you literally pack a bag and go to Santa Fe.
So it was a Thursday to Tuesday. There was a caucus meeting Monday afternoon. So, so we went up Sunday so I could kind of
get a little
my
bit
bearings
familiar. Yeah.
around the Capitol Monday morning before the caucus meeting, before we started session. It was like my foot was caught in a stirrup, and I was getting drugged behind a horse for a couple weeks.
I can understand that. You're just trying to absorb it in, and it's like the first week of high school, kind of when you're a freshman. You're like, "Where's my locker? Where's the?" It's just like that a little bit.
And
trying to fit in with the other people. Yeah,
right.
That,
and it's a 30-day, so everything's moving a lot faster.
Yeah, you don't get the luxury of the glad handing and the little parties and all that. A 60-day.
That's right. Yeah. So even the other rookies that were in their first term had already had a 60-day session to kind of learn the ropes and stuff. And, I had a couple days.
Yeah, you literally had nothing. You know, hey, can I bum a ride with you to Santa Fe and we'll talk on the way there? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it was, calling to find a place to stay, getting some laundry done and getting packed up. And then I'm on the road. And so, but one of the amazing things was just how nice and welcoming everyone was.
Good.
From the sergeant at arms to the Capitol Police and security, other representatives, regardless of what side of the aisle. We got up there and we went up Monday morning just to walk around and say, okay, where's my office? Where's the closest bathroom to my office? Things like that.
Sure, yeah. Know what happens when you get familiar.
And Representative Jim Townsend, soon to be Senator Townsend, was there in the House Minority Office, and he didn't have to. And I've known Jim a little bit for some years.
It's a small world. The circles do fly.
Stuff,
absolutely.
Artesia, Roswell.
Absolutely. You're bound to run each other after 20 years.
But he took my wife and I around the Capitol, showed us where the clerk's office is, showed us where legislative council is, where you need to get.
He was kind of a Sherpa for you a little bit around time.
Absolutely. And he didn't have to do that at all. And he was a minority whip.
Sure.
And so he had a lot of things to do.
He does have
get ready for session.
Some fish to fry here. He's got a big lot going on.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he took a couple hours out of his day, just to show us around. And it meant a lot to me.
Sure.
And, and people were like that from top to bottom. It was amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good
like I said, regardless of the side of the aisle, a lot of people came up and they're like, welcome. Hey, if you need to know something, how this works, how to do that.
And that's good because, to be honest, that's the way it should be. I mean, yes, they're going to have their fights on the floors of the House and the Senate and the committee rooms and all that. They're going to have knockdown dragouts. But at the end of the day, the art of compromise has to happen. And unfortunately, we don't have a balance in the legislature. It's this little dot of conservative and this big sea of liberal.
Yeah.
And so you're already fighting with one hand tied behind your back. So you're already in the compromise position there because of those numbers. But still there's enough there to fight. So but you got to have that compromise, because if you guys aren't given, you can't receive what you want, and vice versa on the other side. So the very fact that can't even happen if you're at least not cordial to each other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least you can't have a cup of coffee together in the break room before the meeting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what one of the things that I really learned was the importance of those personal relationships, so that you can be really frank with someone and say, look, there is no way I can vote for this.
Yeah.
And just say and just have that relationship and be able to tell them and say, and they may say, well, how do I make it better? I'm like, you can't. It's just a bad bill.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can vote for it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that sort of relationship, or say, well, I agree with you on this part of it.
Sure.
And I think that's good, but this other part's horrible. Can we get that out?
Yeah.
Or can we do something else?
That makes sense. And because let's face it, we can't work together today, but we might have to work together tomorrow. And if we burn the bridge today, then there's no tomorrow.
Exactly.
And so you can't, and let's face it, you're going to see these folks again at some point. They're getting elected and reelected just like you are. So, you're absolutely right. So, but I imagine as an attorney, you've kind of had years of experience there before even walking into Santa Fe, because pretty much every court case is a negotiation, when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And similarly, although I know people in New Mexico, a lot of them will go, gosh, we have way too many lawyers. But relatively, the bar in New Mexico is very small comparative to like a Texas or a Colorado or Arizona or
just 12 times the people. Yeah.
Exactly. And so our, may not know every attorney in New Mexico, and I don't, but someone will say, oh, do you know so-and-so? No, but I know of them.
Sure, the reputation, their body of work.
Yeah, and particularly here, Chaves County, southeast New Mexico even, you run across the same attorneys in cases all the time.
I would imagine.
And sometimes you're on the same side, and sometimes you're on different sides.
Makes sense.
And so it does have a lot of correlation to that.
Just like Santa Fe there.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes, you can't just, if someone says, hey, I need an extension on this.
Sure.
Right? You can't let them continue to take advantage of you, but you extend some professional courtesy because some other time you're going to be the one who needs that extension.
Yeah, don't be a pushover, but at the same time, don't be so rigid that no one's willing or you're not flexible. That's the balance there. You got to have that. And
absolutely.
And I imagine, put it this way, if you don't have that ability and you're a young person, maybe attorney work is probably not your line of work. You should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're going to have a difficult time. I do want to ask, conversely, the other side, like after you're sitting through your first 30-day session, what was the frustrating parts, the parts that made you angry or parts you did not like about it? Because I'm sure there's a few situations that you're just like, this is not right. We need to fix this.
Well, there's a few things, and we kind of touched on one already when we talk about crime.
Sure.
And there's no secret. New Mexico has a crime problem. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of back to if there's no deterrent, why if the bigger advantage is to commit the crime at this point.
Right. And so, the governor came into the session and, we're so anti-crime now. We're very anti-crime. Well, a couple of the anti-crime bills that got passed this year, which were sponsored and carried by Democrats, had been bills that had been killed in the last 3 or 4 sessions that were carried by Republicans that died on party lines. The last 3 or 4 years. The one in particular, Bill Ream, Representative Ream from Albuquerque, had carried some, for increasing penalties for felons in possession of firearms.
Sure.
And it had died and died and died. And so now Albuquerque, Bernalillo County sees such an incredible crime problem.
They're seeing the results of those actions.
Now their Democrat representatives are carrying that bill and pushing it through, even though they've killed it on party lines for years.
Yeah.
And
now they realize.
And so they're stealing Republican ideas.
Sure.
So that's kind of frustrating.
Sure. Well, and I'm going to follow a lot of that too, because if you look at the last couple sessions before that, it was still that defund the police mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
And after a couple of years of that, people are like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. So now it's like, but politicians are politicians. Let's just say it. I got this new idea.
Right. Yeah. Here's how we're going to fix this. Yeah.
I've been it myself. That's just, that's politician.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah. And so also.
So the politician side has been the side that's been that's a bunch of crap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. How's been the relationships working? Because we talked with Candy Spence, Greg Nybert, we've talked with leadership here and over the years and it's really a dogfight where it's kind of an us versus them mentality. Did you get to experience and see kind of like, we're the sharks are circling here and we're kind of we're sitting in the boat waiting, they were just waiting for the boat to fall apart kind of thing. I mean, did you get that feeling a little bit that they talk about and kind of what they experience when every legislative session?
Yeah. I did. I think I think the current Speaker of the House, Javier Martinez, runs a different ship than Brian Egolf did.
Yeah,
and
that was a little more volatile under his administration.
Very
or his term.
confrontational, very volatile. Javier, in my limited experience, ran a more, I don't want to say collaborative, because it's not a collaborative.
But it wasn't in an environment where you felt like you couldn't share your thoughts without ridicule or blowback.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And I think part of that came from the personal relationship that he had with Ryan Lane, who was the minority leader this last couple sessions, and Ryan has stepped down. So, but their relationship, I think, was pretty good. But we did. There was an early weekend. I mean, probably midway, when we really start getting into bills coming to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that surprised me. Bills they get introduced, but they don't come to the House floor for a couple weeks because they've got to go through committees.
It's just a gauntlet before they get to the floor.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot going on the floor until sort of maybe 2 weeks in.
Last couple
and then
weeks.
You've got only about 2 weeks left. Yeah. So
it's kind of hurry up and wait. It is nothing, then 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. And so that one of those days, it was early on, there were 2 or 3 really, really bad bills on there that they were just going to kind of shove down our throat. And Ryan Lane went to the Speaker and said, look, if you do this, we will debate every bill that
We're
you bring
drag
to the
this
floor.
out.
We will
drag
do
it
the
out.
full 3 hours on every bill.
Yeah.
And I don't think he really thought we would. I mean, there was stuff. And so he brought them all, and we did. We went till 3:30 that next morning, from noon to 3:30. And just to show him that we would and could.
Yeah.
And that sort of changed the tone. And said, we'll do this, even on bills that will pass unanimously.
Sure.
Something like pay increases for EMTs or something like that. We're still going to debate it for 3 hours. And your caucus is going to be miserable.
Yeah. And that's the tactic when you're that outnumbered.
Absolutely.
That's your best defense.
Yeah. And so after that,
yeah,
I think the two of them sat down and worked out some stuff and said, look, as long as you're not just shoving stuff down our throats.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We can do this and get the business done.
And that's where that has to happen in the legislative session. Because at the end of the day, we all look at this as win-losses, but we're all trying to do what's good for the state. Every one of these should be a win, regardless of who proposes it or who goes through it. And so the very fact that, majorities rule, that's just the world we live in. But in the legislature, just because the majority rule does not mean the minority should be silenced.
Right.
And they get to speak and they get to put your thoughts in. And so this is kind of those tactics to remind the majority, say, no, I get it. You can do what you want, but you are going to listen to what we have to say.
Yeah.
And that's what your representatives do for you there, to represent them.
Yeah. And I, and it was very nice because some great friends of my wife and I, mine, now I'm not sure exactly how I should have said that grammatically, but so when we lived in Montana, I coached high school baseball, and I coached their son, and they became great friends of ours, and they're sort of like, an aunt and uncle or something to us. And so he was a state representative in Montana for a number of years, and now he's a state senator. And we were they happened to be visiting their son in San Antonio, and so they came back through Santa Fe to say hi, and I was showing them around and stuff. And we were just chatting about sort of the basically super majority that Democrats have here. And he said, well, we have the exact opposite in Montana.
I could see that.
He said, we have a super majority in both houses. The Republicans do. And then a Republican governor as well. He said, and it's he goes, it's no different. They, try and shove things down the throat of the Democrats that probably they shouldn't be doing.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't matter which party. Yeah. He said it doesn't matter which party
Absolutely.
it is. If you've got the super majority.
Absolutely. That's where you want the balance. You really, I mean, obviously numbers here and there sway one, but really, it's best to have all voices in the room talking, because that's where the best government comes. Right. Government is a different world than the business world and everything else. The win here is what's the compromise? What can we get done that makes the most people happy and upsets the least amount of people?
Right. Yeah. There was a really interesting with like the last day or two was when that family medical leave, the paid Family Medical Leave Act came to the House floor.
Sure.
And that was one of the more, other than, there were some things I saw a lot that came through energy and judiciary, which means all the gun bills came through judiciary, all the oil and gas stuff came through energy. So I saw a lot of those things. But the Paid Family Medical Leave Act was probably one of the most controversial bills of that legislature, other than, I think, the infringement upon the Second Amendment.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the details get twisted, and that's where they create good guys, bad guys here. And put it this way, every single person in the room wants to make sure families are taken care of and stuff. Some people are looking at, can it feasibly happen financially? Others are just saying, screw it, we'll do it, and we'll figure it out later. Right. And the people that are against it aren't because they don't want to provide for families and make sure there's something in place, because they do. But we can't just say it and then have no funding, no way to execute it. And
right.
So
yeah.
That's just as stupid as not doing it at all. So that's the real what's going on. But in the political world, when you say you vote against it, now you hate babies.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's how it's spun.
Yeah.
So you have to be the adult here and understand what's spin versus what's people are actually doing. If you really think there's people in the legislature that don't want to provide for kids, then you're seriously misunderstood.
Right.
What's
exactly.
going on there.
Yeah. But it was a really interesting thing to watch. That 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Because it was going to be tight, and both sides knew it was going to be a very tight vote.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see, and the governor came down from the 4th floor, and she was stalking the halls outside the chamber, and her staff were there.
I imagine that's an intimidation factor.
And the whip was getting up and getting people out of their chairs and taking them out in the hall to talk to them, and on the Democrats' side,
marching them in line.
Yeah, we were pretty lockstep as far as the Republicans.
Yeah.
11 Democrats from rural areas with lots of small businesses and stuff who understood what that bill would have done to the small businesses in their community.
Absolutely.
Broke rank and voted with us, and it went down 36-34.
Yeah.
And
I remember the Democrats were like, whoa, and it was like, and of course we all on the outside eating popcorn like, oh, see, it's strife within. Oh boy.
And now all 11 of those Democrats have primary opponents.
Shocking.
Exactly.
Welcome to New Mexico. This is that thing I've been screaming. You want to know why this state's such a complete hot mess? Go spend the day in Lincoln and read every single sign board and everything there. This thing's been corrupted long before it was a state, with the whole cattle cabals and all the other crap that this state's been dealing with. And once 1912 hit, we became a state. That same garbage just kept going, except for now there's a state seal above it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And that's why we are the way we are. Until that mindset changes, until there's a true work and not, let's see. And let's face it, yes, we always hear this, the politicians get richer before they go in office. New Mexico, that's just the standard now. It's just because it's such a thing. So, and there's a small group of people that have been fighting that for many years and getting bloodied and bruised every time they're doing it. So.
Absolutely.
And Jared's joined the ranks.
I have. Yeah.
We're running short on time, but I do want to get a chance, if folks want to learn more, get involved, maybe help with your campaign for re-election here. What's the best way to do some of that kind of stuff?
So, I've got my website. It's jaredfornm.com.
Okay.
And then I'm also on Facebook, Jared Hembry for New Mexico, I think is what the Facebook.
If you do a Jared Hembry Google search or Facebook search, you'll find it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the website has contact information for me, and so if people, I've been knocking on doors and telling them, dropping off a little flyer and saying, please reach out to me if you have any questions, if you need anything. So yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, like, I look at it, you're doing this as a service to your community, but like, is there aspirations past this, or you're like, no, I'm going to be a lawyer and I'm just doing a state rep?
Yeah, no, I don't have any aspirations beyond this. Right. It's I want to do my time.
Sure. You're here to serve and not here to as a stepping stone for the next thing.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. I got to ask one, and this is inside baseball. No one cares but him and I probably here, but I learned a little factoid when I was doing my research earlier. Of course, like you said, you went to law school in Virginia. Well, Washington and Lee University, which is located in Lexington, Virginia.
Yes.
It is a two-college town, also host to Virginia Military Institute, VMI, another kind of prestigious school. But I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area. Well, 17 miles from Lexington, Virginia, is the town of Goshen, Virginia.
Yes.
And it houses Goshen Scout Camp, which is the national capital, the D.C. area Boy Scout, their camp. It is a large camp. It is like actually 7 different camps and everything else. But it's been around for eons. And I grew up there and all this. And so obviously you're familiar spending your college years in Lexington, Virginia, which is very much a college party town, a historical home to Stonewall Jackson. He was there.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee is buried at the very university of which you
yes,
because it was just Washington University pre-Civil War. And then after the Civil War, Robert E. Lee became president, if I remember right. And of course he passed and he's interred there at the college.
Yes.
And then they changed the name to Washington and Lee, if I remember right.
That is, yes.
But I got to ask, what years were you stomping around in Lexington, give or take?
2002 to 2005.
Okay, so you're a little after me.
Okay.
There was a restaurant, and I was there mid-90s.
Okay.
There was a restaurant that we always used to go to called Spanky's. Do you know Spanky's?
I know Spanky's.
The fact that you spit your coffee, I was like, he knows Spanky's.
Yeah.
I lived at Spanky's when I was not working. I had a day off. We hung out at Spanky's.
Oh, awesome. It's the building is still there, but it's not Spanky's.
It's not Spanky's anymore. And it was themed after Spanky from the Little Rascals.
Yes.
But they had some good sandwiches. It was just a tavern bar like place.
Yeah.
It was great downtown. A lot of walking things around. There was like a movie theater up the street, if I remember right. And VMI campus wasn't too far away. It was literally all right in that walking little corridor there of Lexington.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I don't know if you're aware or not, but a couple graduates of VMI, Virginia Military Institute, are who founded New Mexico Military Institute.
Interesting. So there's kind of a sister school a little bit.
There's an interesting connection between that.
Yeah.
VMI
Which, by the way, for folks that don't know, Stonewall Jackson, he was an artillery instructor at VMI when the outbreak of the Civil War hit. And he went on to fight for the Confederacy.
Yes.
But it's again, it's a cool historical fun, and it like if you want history, throw a rock in any direction. There's history around that area.
Absolutely.
You go up to Stanton. There's Woodrow Wilson, which is about 30 miles away, and of course Roanoke's not too far away. It's a cool little area in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
The Blue Ridge is beautiful as well.
Matter of fact, I always joked with my wife years ago. I was like, when we're done and everything, we should go buy a place up there and live right off the Maury River, like you were talking earlier. That sounds like bliss to me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for spending time with us. And obviously, as rep, we'll see you more and more down the road. And anytime you need to come in to talk shop with us, love to have you do that.
Okay. So, great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, 7:57. I better shut up and play some ads before news, or they get salty when I don't do that. So 7:57, quick break, and then news. Don't go away.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Get your tickets now as Red Zone presents A Night with C.J. Stroud, Saturday, April 13th at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Previously announced as A Night with Jason Witten, Jason became unavailable, so C.J. Stroud stepped up to take his place. C.J. is the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Houston Texans and two-time Heisman Trophy finalist. Admission is free, but you must have a ticket to enter. Jason Witten printed tickets are still good, and remaining tickets are available at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation is courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about C.J. Stroud coming to Artesia.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. consumer prices increased more than expected in March as Americans continue to pay more for gasoline and rental housing. The shipping industry's pledge to limit its carbon footprint may suffer a setback as the current Red Sea crisis prompts it to use more vessels and take longer routes to ensure the smooth sailing of global maritime trade. Houthi militant attacks on vessels passing through the southern Red Sea have choked trade through the Suez Canal. The National Transportation Safety Board is conducting a new round of interviews with Boeing and Federal Aviation Administration personnel this week in its probe into the January Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 in-flight emergency. Uber is boosting its safety features for passengers around the world, including encrypted audio recordings, PIN verification, and live location sharing. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Out on prices at the wholesale level. The PPI rose last month at the fastest clip in almost a year.
The Labor Department says its Producer Price Index, which measures inflationary pressure before it reaches consumers, rose 2.1% last month from March 2023. It's the biggest year-over-year jump since April 2023. Compared to February, though, wholesale prices were up just 0.2%, down from a 0.6% gain in February.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House. Ukraine reporting more Russian attacks on the country's energy infrastructure as well as deadly attacks on civilian targets. The targeting of the Zaporizhia nuclear plant has captured the attention, as well as the concern of the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency.
The IAEA, which has a small team at Zaporizhia, said drones hit a reactor building 3 times on Sunday, endangering nuclear safety. The IAEA hasn't blamed either Russia or Ukraine for the drone strikes, but its Director General, Rafael Grossi, said the attacks were reckless and must stop. Whoever is behind them, he said, was playing with fire.
The BBC's Bethany Bell. The cleanup and recovery underway today in tornado-ravaged Slidell, Louisiana. The New Orleans metro area slammed by powerful storms yesterday. Today, forecasters say that parts of West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky could see severe weather, possibility of flooding, damaging hail, strong winds, even the possibility of tornadoes. Watching Wall Street this morning, so far stocks have been bouncing between small gains and modest losses. Right now, the Dow is down 91 points, NASDAQ up 47. Townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Oklahoma's Republican Attorney General is suing two Texas-based natural gas companies over soaring prices during a winter storm in 2021.
Gentner Drummond filed both lawsuits Wednesday in Osage County. The defendants are Dallas-based ET Gathering and Processing and Houston-based Symmetry Energy Solutions. ET acquired Enable Midstream Partners in 2021. The lawsuit alleges that Enable and Symmetry used various tactics to drive up the price of natural gas during the devastating storm. The Attorney General in Kansas has filed similar litigation against a natural gas company operating in that state. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
The Parliament of Poland is holding a long-awaited debate on liberalizing the country's stringent abortion laws. The traditionally Roman Catholic nation does have some of the most restrictive laws on abortion on the books in Europe. News and analysis at townhall.com. The National Transportation Safety Board investigating a deadly crash involving a Ford electric vehicle. It happened earlier this month near Philadelphia.
The NTSB says a Mustang Mach-E sport utility vehicle that may have been operating on a partially automated driving system hit two stationary passenger cars on Interstate 95 early in the morning on March 3rd. Both drivers of the stationary cars were killed. The Mach-E hit a parked Toyota Prius and rammed into a Hyundai Elantra. Ford said it is researching the crash and is cooperating with investigators. The crash is the second this year involving a Mach-E that the NTSB is investigating. The first occurred on February 24th in San Antonio, Texas. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is scheduled to address the U.S. Congress today, follows last night's state dinner at the White House. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Not quite Friday.
Yes.
Smells a little Friday-like, but not quite Friday.
Maybe that's the rain from Tuesday that's lingering.
Maybe. I'm not going to lie. Half the day yesterday I was thinking
it smells
today
like the weekend, which is raining usually.
I wish. Although this weekend.
Sorry, go on.
I was half the day yesterday I was thinking today was Friday. Like yesterday I kept going, I was like, no, it's not Friday. So, but now in my head I'm
one of those weeks.
Yeah, but I was having half a day there where I was I don't know.
The day doesn't feel like the day, whatever day it is.
Yeah. But happy Thursday. It is, in fact, Thursday. I double checked. Hope your Thursday is going well. Weather kind of nice?
Yes.
Kind of not. I know yesterday was nicer. But that wind, there was like a little breeze yesterday that just made me feel chilled all day.
Was there?
It was like every time I went out.
Chilled?
I was. I don't know. Like and I think it was just me because yesterday afternoon I walked over to Subway to get a sandwich at like 1 or so in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm like a little chilled. And so I brought my coat that I've been wearing. I wear my coat and
really?
And I walked to the Subway.
Yeah.
And I noticed I'm the only guy like that because I'm seeing people in shorts and T-shirts and going around, and I'm like, and so I don't know if it's just me.
There was that hint of it in the morning.
Yeah, but even at like 1, 2 in the afternoon, I was still kind of like, Now I wasn't hanging out there.
No.
I was just going. Went from there to there, but I remember like, chill. Like I was like. Because I remember walking over with my coat on, and I'm seeing people in shorts and T-shirt, and I'm like, this seems not comfortable for me being short. Now, maybe.
Yeah, I was out and about yesterday.
Yeah, and maybe it's just me getting old now. Like, because I'm back in the day, I wouldn't have cared, but now I'm like, I need a sweater.
Tuesday and Wednesday couldn't be further apart for me, because Tuesday was like ice cold.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, there was.
And then Wednesday was like, it's pure sun.
Yeah, Tuesday was an all-day rain. That was not Roswell. So that was complete opposite of what Roswell does. Was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And but
Wednesday was pure sun for me.
Yeah.
So it got hot pretty
maybe
fast.
I just hadn't thawed out from Tuesday.
Like
maybe I was still chilled from Tuesday, and it carried over into like 3/4 of Wednesday before I finally thawed out.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I just know that it was unusual, and like I remember because it's chronicled on this show many a times that I keep my house like a meat locker at 68. And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The last week or so, I'm like, I should up it. I'm getting a little chilled. And my wife, if I say anything, God forbid, she's going to blow her gasket because she's like, what? That's been the standard for 20 plus years. And now I'm kind of like, knock it up a degree or two. I'm getting chilled. We'll see.
Like, who are you?
I know. But I'm also a fan of loving wear sweatshirts and hoodies right now. I'm in where I just feel like happy inside wearing one of those sometimes. So, part of me is like because now I get to wear sweatshirts all the time. And normally I love sweatshirts, love the theory, but I can't wear them for more than 5 minutes because I'm usually sweating my butt off. But not no more. Now I diddy bop around all. Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
Anyway, this is just something I've noticed about me. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I'll take this opportunity to plug in my.
I do want to get you before we get into our hour here. We're going to replay our interview we had with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. Their next meeting will be 1 week from yesterday, next Wednesday, out at the Convention and Civic Center. But you've got an event tomorrow for gamers, right?
Yeah. It's just Stellar Coffee. We got a little game night planned.
So you're gonna come over
around 6 o'clock.
Have a beverage and a pastry or something, a sandwich, and do some gaming with you guys.
Go there and buy a drink and a
food.
And
what's the games y'all playing tomorrow night?
Oh, just like Street Fighter and the Tekkens. And
is it kind of like whatever the crowd feels like playing, or is it kind of?
I mean, there's plenty of fighting games that are like obscure and people.
So is it all pretty
much
the fight games, or?
But it's mostly
Mortal Kombat.
What we're centered around.
Okay.
Maybe there'll be Smash Brothers there for people who like that.
But kind of the one-on-one fighting games. We're not getting into RPG or role playing or any of these kind of deals.
No, it's more just like a competitive thing,
or your Fortnite type thing. I was going to say like Doom, but I was like, I'm outdating myself here. Fortnite. Yeah, or that first-person shooter-up style. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, you know what? That's why fighting games are a little more accessible. Because you don't have to quite set up a whole
world,
16 Xboxes to have a LAN party. And
those games are fun, but there's a whole world, there's a whole thing, and they're not geared for tournaments. They're more individual play.
Right.
Whereas a fighting game, it's 3 minutes of someone won, someone didn't.
I know.
Who knows the finishing moves?
I've heard stories that they had the theater actually connect an Xbox or something, and they would all play Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that
in the theater and stuff. But yeah, no, this is just fighting games.
Yeah. Well, and I'm of the age where I remember back when in Nintendo's heyday and all that stuff, and they used to have those tournaments for these kids, and they'd get Pepsi or whatever to sponsor, and these kids would kind of be little national celebrities for a hot minute. Watch the movie Pixels, if you remember that. There's kind of some of that, a little bit of that going on back there, if you ever remember that movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie. People hate that movie.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh. Kevin James as the president makes me laugh. I don't care what anybody says.
You like stupid as a concept of movie.
I can appreciate a good stupid movie. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Sometimes I just want to be entertained, and I don't want. And you know what? If we're attacking Qbert with laser things, well, Adam Sandler make cracks jokes about it. I'll watch that.
Yeah. Although on the contrast, I think Adam Sandler's making a serious movie now.
He's made a couple.
That Spaceman movie.
Yeah, there's that one that's on Netflix where he's it's almost like he's blown but there was an action, the one where he's the jewel thief or something too. What was that movie called?
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So he's done a couple. And then, to be honest, he did, in the early 2000s, Spanglish and what's that other one called? The one where it's dark. Oh, there's another one that he did.
Yeah, Funny People or
yeah,
something like that?
I think that's it. It's I think Funny People. I think you nailed it. That's it. Those are not comedies. I mean, yeah, there's jokes in them, but they're not comedies.
No.
You know what I mean? Those are depressing.
It's like that one Jim Carrey movie he made, the Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, The Spotless Mind, Eternal Sunshine, or whatever that is.
Yeah, it's I thought this was a comedy.
And then he also did the... Carrey had a few movies in there, too. And I think all these guys do that.
I was skeptical of seeing Yes Man, too. Because it's is this just another...
That's not even close to a serious movie. That one's... I actually dug Yes Man.
Yeah.
That's a funny movie to me. I'll watch it.
But it doesn't look like a comedy at first. It looks like a serious movie.
Yeah, I guess they can see, because it's kind of that love story all kind of going on. And with, what's her name? Zoe Deschanel or whatever her name is. Yeah. But... that one and Liar Liar, I'll laugh I'll watch it. Anytime those two pop on, I'll laugh my butt off every time. And of course, the Ace Ventura movies, those are legacy at this point. So good deal. But so tomorrow, Stellar Coffee. What time is everybody getting together?
Yeah, just 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Come play some games. Come and have a beverage. Come hang out, meet some people, and if you're looking for social fun, some gamers to hang out with and game, and who knows, start it into a whole club or something and turn it into a big thing. But tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Stellar Coffee. Calling all gamers.
If you have a general interest in fighting games or whatever, and you just want, even if you're I'm not good at it, it's a friendly environment.
Sure.
And
maybe you want to get more into it.
You can learn with friendly people, and
absolutely,
it's a casual space.
It's still going to kick your butt, but you'll learn along the way.
Well, that's how you learn.
Yeah, they're not going to let you win. Come on.
This is the real world.
They will knock you out with your virtually, of course. But but 6 p.m. tomorrow night out at Stellar Coffee. Good deal. Probably should get the hour going here if I'm gonna get it all in. It is 8:16. Let us take a gander at your weather. Not too bad, though. I didn't like it.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in the upper 70s to about 80 on the afternoon high today. High pressure settling into the Four Corners area. That'll hang around through the weekend. Clear tonight, and we're in the low to mid 40s, and then low 80s for the afternoon high on Friday. A little bit more breezy, but plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday both look sunny and warm. Our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thanks, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 61%. Winds out of the north, 8 miles per hour. Sunny and nice today. 77 the expected high. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 5 to 15 miles per hour, shifting to the south this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low of 45 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and warm with a high of 84, but winds will be breezy. They're talking 5 to 15 miles per hour to the south early, and then increasing 15 to 25 miles per hour by Friday afternoon. Friday night, clear skies, looking at an overnight low of 51. Winds remain breezy out of the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Those winds drop down 10 to 15 after midnight Friday night. Saturday, sunny and 85. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny skies and a high of 88. And then Monday, it's going to be warm but windy with patchy blowing dust and all that. Sunny and 83 for the high there. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, talking about their next meeting Wednesday of next week out at the Convention and Civic Center. That's up next. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Don't go away.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Get ready for a week jam-packed with all sorts of fun for the whole family. The 2024 Roswell Spectacular Carnival, April 25th through May 5th at the Wool Bowl in Roswell. It all kicks off on April 25th with fun for the whole family from 6 to 10. Then on Saturday, April 27th, the day kicks off with a car show beginning with check-in at 8 a.m., plus live entertainment, vendors, and raffles throughout the day. Then Saturday afternoon, don't miss the Build Your Own Pinewood Derby presented by Cub Scout packs throughout Chaves County, with prizes for speed as well as people's choice, overall design, creativity, and originality. Check-in is at 2 and the race begins at 3. Then on Saturday, May 4th, celebrate Cinco de Mayo with piñata breaking at 1, a taco and jalapeno competition at 3, and a salsa and chili contest with entertainment beginning at 2. Proceeds from this event to benefit Moms Loving Hope. The 2024 Roswell Spectacular Carnival, April 25th through May 5th at the Wool Bowl in Roswell.
The Clovis Music Festival is back from April 18th through the 20th, and it's bigger than ever. 3 epic nights of bands and entertainment await you at the Curry County Event Center. Starting Thursday at 7 p.m., immerse yourself in the Pink Floyd Laser Spectacular, followed up Friday night at 7 with Mickey and the Motor Cars, followed by country sensation Kip Moore. Don't miss Bowling for Soup Saturday at 7 p.m., followed by the legendary Gin Blossoms. Secure your tickets now at clovismusicfestival.com/tickets and be part of the excitement. The Clovis Music Festival 2024, brought to you in part by the City of Clovis Lodgers Tax. Don't miss out on the music event of the year.
You feel like there's something missing in your life? I challenge you to find someone who seems to be at peace no matter what good or bad is happening in their life. I would almost bet that person has found Jesus. In the Bible, there's a man named Zacchaeus who was a tax collector for the Romans. He was a Jew, but he worked for the enemy. He knew Jesus was in town and wanted to see who he was, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a tree to see Jesus. Jesus saw him and told him to come down because he was going to his house for dinner. The holy people didn't like this very much, as Zacchaeus was seen as a sinner and a traitor. But because of his encounter with Jesus, Zacchaeus said he would repay 4 times over any he had cheated and give half of what he had to the poor. Jesus told him that salvation came to his house that day. This man was seen as the worst of the worst, but when he found Jesus, all was forgiven. Jesus can do the same for you. Let's help you find Jesus and the forgiveness and peace that he promises.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations. And he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. What you're about to hear will totally blow your mind.
It's the grand reopening at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude.
I interrupt this commercial for more breaking news.
Attention car buyers. The all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade, and we need them now. So there's never been a better time to trade and upgrade to a new Ford or quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for less. Making payments on your current vehicle and you want out early? Even if your current car is rusted, busted, and can't be trusted, Roswell Ford wants to spring you out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about payment or interest rate? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more lenders that can help with all types of credit, with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Get pre-approved today at RoswellFord.com. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or visit us online at RoswellFord.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome back to the morning show, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, Joan Bouet, and of course, Janine Best back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How's life treating you guys this morning?
Life is busy, but good.
It is good. You know, this it's weathers and stuff been a little weird here in the last couple of days, but I'll take it because it's moisture and we need all of it.
Exactly.
So we'll take it here.
That's true.
If we're seeing you guys, that must mean we're about a week away from the next Chaves County Federated Republican Women meeting, which will take place. It's the third Wednesday of the month. About 11:30, and it's always at the convention center, and they always pair it with a delightful lunch.
By Peppers.
Peppers is on the grill today for this next one here.
Yes.
And, of course, always offering great guest speakers and things. And I know since we're in an election year, I'm going to take a stab that there's going to be election-related guests at this upcoming Federated Republican. Just a hunch. You know, I'm not a detective, but I think I can detect that one.
I will tell you, we have bunch of speakers.
Yeah.
May I kind of give you a quick rundown?
Yeah, I know at least one because I had them on the show about a week or two ago, and they mentioned they were going to come visit you guys here in the month of April.
Well, the first person will be Cindy Fuller, our county clerk, and she's going to give us an explanation of how this redistricting was done.
She's very knowledgeable about all that stuff and can make the complex simple to you.
Because so many people have no idea the new district that they're in.
To be honest, I don't blame them. It's not for lack of trying to know.
And I don't even know. So
Yeah.
maybe you need to come and find out what district you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to have the U.S. Congressional District candidates from District 1, which is Steve Jones and Luis Sanchez.
Okay.
Unfortunately, District 2, Yvette cannot make it
Oh,
this
bummer.
time.
She was contending because, matter of fact, I talked to her a week ago, so she was planning on being there.
Yeah,
so
she cannot make it.
The schedule changed, unfortunately.
But she will be there this summer because she
great.
does have opposition in the general.
She's a great. Well, she's got a. She does have a competitor to take down. So
Yeah, exactly.
When she's familiar with.
And District 3, we have Sharon Kloss-Tisholich.
Okay.
Then we do have the New Mexico Senate speakers from District 27, which is Pat Boone, Larry Marker.
Not the singer, sorry.
No, not the singer. And Greg Nybert.
Nice.
And then we have the Senate from District 32, Candy Spencer-Zell and Chad Hamill. So we want to inform and educate. the Republican voters in Charis County.
This is a chance for you. Of course, you'll get to hear them speak and things, but because of this meeting and the way, how it's done and everything, come a few minutes early. Like I said, 11:30, get there, mingle and chit-chat, and you can talk. Usually Greg Nybert and Candy Spence and these are sitting there meandering and chit-chatting, and if you want to talk to them and ask questions, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. And that's why they make themselves available for this stuff.
And they stay. They stay after the meeting and are willing to talk with
for them. This is a chance for them to talk to their constituents.
Well, it's a perfect time to see if the newbies know exactly what they're talking about.
Sure.
Ask them the hard questions.
Absolutely. Exactly.
See if they're up to the game.
Well, and that's the point here. When we talk about whether it's going into the Congress or the legislature, the state legislature, sure, we all have our ideas here, but what happens when you get there and you're in the room and you got to do it? Do you know what to do? Do you know how to, you can't just roll in there and have your speech that you had here and everyone's going to all right, let's do that. They're going to laugh you out the room. So how do you actually make the things you promised happen?
Exactly.
And that's where you get to pick their brain a little bit and say, hey, okay, that's what you want to do. How is that? What's your plan of attack on that?
Exactly.
And they can explain it to you or not explain it to you based on if they have one or not.
Well, what we do prior to the meeting, they do get 3 letters, reminder letters, and we ask them these 3 questions. Number 1, why are you running? Number 2, what are your qualifications for running for this position?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you hope to achieve if you do indeed win?
Yeah.
And so if they can answer those questions and give us some idea of who they are, they certainly have a much better chance of winning this election.
Yeah, well, and whether just a little piece of advice for people if you ever decide to run for office or run anything, yes, you need to be good at working with people and have problems to solve, but one is you have to be a salesperson. You have to sell yourself. You have to be that a bit. You have to do something, and for many people, it's not comfortable for them to do. You have to walk in a room and brag about yourself all the time, and if you're not even capable of doing that, then that's probably step 1 of being. Maybe you should be a politician.
I think you made an excellent point.
Yeah.
If you don't let people know what you have achieved, how will they ever know?
Yeah.
And it's not bragging. Just let us know.
Absolutely.
What you have done successfully.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you qualified to be here? Why should you be in the room? And when you talk in, say, because I spent 20 years here doing this, or I was in this, and I was in the room when this was done, or that one.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they want to hear, and you should tell them that.
Yeah.
But that's what they want to get to, and we live in a world now, especially folks that are getting our age and stuff, where we grew up in a different world.
Absolutely.
Where there was a modicum of trust in certain things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That unfortunately is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can trust something is if you do your own sniff test on these kind of things.
Exactly.
And you educate yourself on how to do that. And if you're the person doing the selling, you've got to be able to convince people that are going to automatically, because we live in that world now. People are not going to take you at face value anymore. You walk in a room and say, I'm this. Most people are going to say, no, you're not.
Exactly.
And that's the difference in today's world than it was for us growing up.
Mike, I'd like to mention something. In February, I had 2 ladies come to the meeting, and they said, we want to meet Joan Bouet, which I'm usually there greeting. And they said, we came because we heard you on Mike in the Morning.
Ah.
So you are bringing us some members.
At least two.
Well, I am very proud to tell you.
Cool. I'm glad that thank you, folks, for doing that kind of stuff. It makes me feel good when you.
We are the largest Republican women's group in the state of New Mexico, and at this point, we have 134 members.
I'm not going to lie. I hope you get challenges. I want other ends to compete with you.
Farmington's a big competitor.
I want more of them because the more competitors you have, the better the state's going to be.
Yes. Well, there are 17 clubs in the state.
So tell your friends and family. If you got family and friends in these other parts of the state, tell them to get involved in their Federated Republican Women
Absolutely. You're absolutely. And I'll be honest, I don't know where else you can go in Roswell and get not only to hear the candidates, but to shake their hand and talk with them, except at the Republican women's luncheons.
And talk to them at a level where you talk to them on a human level.
Correct.
Not on the I just had a speech and you get the polished answer.
Exactly.
Answer.
They are real people, and they have hearts and they have feelings, and they'll tell you if something hurts them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's where you find out, because in the on the pulpit, so to speak, there's only certain things they can go and certain directions they can take it in. But when you're sitting one-on-one, just two people talking, then you're like, this is what's really going on here, but I can't say that up there. You just got to know. And that's really the world we live in.
Correct.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Well, we have an incredible menu.
Got to talk food.
Would you like Janine to give us the menu?
She just wants me to talk.
Hey, if you get to talk about the thing everyone loves, then that's a good thing to talk about, right? No one's mad at the person talking about the food.
That's the easy. That's the easy part.
Well, and of course we have peppers.
Yes.
We've got peppers that's already the rest of the year, so you already know it's going to be good.
They are locked in to cater the meetings from now until the end of the 2024.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
So we have a build-your-own burger buffet.
All right.
So
can't go wrong with a Pepper's burger.
Yep. So it's going to be buns, burgers, cheese, condiments, garnishes. So who knows what garnishes?
So let me ask a question, because this is New Mexico. Does the green chili automatically come on it, or is that technically a garnish?
It's going to be a garnish.
Okay. I didn't know, because I knew it's New Mexico.
Because of all things, I am a fourth-generation New Mexican, and I don't like green chili.
Ooh, you better watch your mouth. You might get jumped for that.
How terrible is that?
How did you get in trouble talking food? Now you just did it.
I did. What can I say?
Yeah.
Also, potato salad, iced tea, and water. $17 per meal.
Which, if you bought this at a restaurant, it's about $30.
Exactly. Exactly.
You are absolutely
exactly. We ask that you RSVP to us. Either call me or we have an email for RSVPing.
Okay.
It's rsvpccfrw@gmail.com.
So if you remember RSVP and then the initials for the Chaves County Federated Republican Women.
Exactly.
That's
and we do have meals at the door, but it's always easier to help Peppers out.
Well, Peppers does like a head count. It does make it helpful, especially.
And we like chairs.
Well, and just to give a perspective of his world for a minute. Remember how we were just talking? You get that sandwich in a restaurant and it's $30.
Yes.
Well, he's got to plot and plan accordingly, so he doesn't charge people, so he doesn't have to make sure that you guys pay for $30 meals. So if you tell him,
order.
Yeah, so he's got, all right, if I get my ground beef here, this, and then whatever accessory, he can mitigate that cost to keep it so you can keep paying $17 for it instead of paying $30.
Correct.
So by you just saying, hey, I'm going to come and eat a burger, please put me on the list.
Exactly.
That
it's real
helps
simple.
them out
A phone call, an RSVP, it's just a touch of the button, and it helps us tremendously, and you get a chair.
Absolutely.
Instead of us having to hustle and get chairs later, we at least have them counted and know how many is going to show up.
Yeah. But it's a great opportunity. Come meet, because that's yes, the burgers and everything is the icing on the cake. You really do get to meet these candidates, the leadership of and that's what I'm saying. The leadership that goes into Santa Fe each and every session, and is spending all their time fighting for us. 9 times out of 10, they're almost at every one of these meetings, and you can come and meet.
Absolutely, they have been very loyal to the Republican women. We are very, very pleased to have these people represent us.
Well, they're servants, and they treat the job as such, and that's a unique quality in our politicians
they work
nowadays.
For us.
Yes, and they treat it as such, where that's not always the case for people in that same position that they were in. And not only are we thankful for them, but we have so much more respect for them because they understand that.
They represented us. They stayed strong, and they represented us very well.
Absolutely, and quite frankly, they keep representing us in rooms where they're always the minority.
Well, and they need a pat on the back. So let's give them a pat on the back.
Absolutely, yeah. So come meet them, come here, and like you said, as you're going to be making more and more important decisions here come November time. Obviously, June here for primary, but more so in many cases here in November.
Correct.
Now's the time to educate yourself on these candidates. If you're not even sure if you're in CD1 anymore or CD2.
Absolutely. You're absolutely
if you live
right.
in Roswell, you can be in any one of the 3 districts.
Exactly.
It just depends on where you live. Now,
you're right.
CD2, more than likely, unless you live in the Boot Hill part of the county, you're probably not in CD2.
Correct.
You're either in 1 or 3.
Correct.
But it literally could be, and you could be in the same neighborhood, And the people on one end of the block are in 1, and the people on the other block are in 3.
You are absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are confused right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to ask Cindy to come
I'm not going to lie.
straighten us out.
People ask me a couple times, like, wait a minute, do I have Stansberry or Fernandez? I can't
Well,
remember.
and I'm
one
sure
of the
she's going to bring maps.
Yeah.
So you can walk up to it, touch it, look at it, take a picture of it, and know and find out for your neighbors or whoever.
Because people are like, which one's your rep? I'm like, oh, I literally do. I think it's Teresa, but I'm not 100% certain.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
People are confused.
Yeah, ever since they redistricted, I couldn't answer those
And
questions
to take
as well.
one county and split it into 3 different districts.
Crazy.
Sure. Well, and that's, that's another debate for another day. But if you can't look at what they did to these maps and not see that was in gerrymandering, then you don't know what gerrymandering is.
Correct. You are so
I mean,
right.
it's not only a little obvious; it's a lot obvious.
It's a lot obvious.
It is. I would like to also mention that the Chaves County Federated Republican Women have had will be presenting scholarships this year.
Ooh, it's that time of year, huh?
It's that time of year.
Excellent.
And we do take men and women who are seniors in high school. And we've also had a contest on patriotism. And that contest was held at Gateway with the 8th grade students. And we have not judged those yet. But I will tell you, I did a preliminary check. They are phenomenal.
It is a pain in the butt to judge these.
It's a tough.
Been there, done that, huh?
Been in that room because every one of them's and you're like, I don't want to deny any, but again, sorry, I got hiccups, but it's the hardest job.
It is. My husband's actually on that committee. And he's tough. He's tough. So
as long as you're tough and fair, that's the only thing you can do on that. As long as you're fair,
what we
and it's
have
hard.
to remember is that the contest was on patriotism, and that's what we have to remember.
Sure, you have to realize, all right, let's bare bones. What are we doing?
Did this child really acknowledge that who their patriotic person was and why?
Sure.
So we have to take that into consideration.
Who fit the theme the best?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
But that being said, it's a Herculean task to get that done. So I admire and give sympathy to the folks that have to do that.
I never volunteered for that one.
It's a tough Historical Society, when they do their scholarships for the Hayes family and they're giving out those 15, and it's cutthroat. And and those people anguish because they're arguing with each other, making cases for, and it's all good because it's passion. It's people fighting. It's all good stuff.
Right.
But I don't want to be in that room making that fight. I just don't.
My
because I want to give it to everybody.
You can't pay you enough, can we, to do that?
I'm just like, no, I just want to give it to everybody. Can we find a way? Let's find rather than see who wins, let's just find another donor.
Exactly. I feel you there.
Well, I will tell you, I think in a way, Mike, we are training these young people to be competitive in this competitive world.
Sure.
Letting them know that they are going to have to do their very best.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great thing and all that. I just like, I feel bad. I could never judge in that
You know
scenario.
what? But they also have to learn to lose so they can climb that hill
Exactly,
again.
because they're gonna.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
No participation trophies in this one.
If you are undefeated in life, you are a unicorn. You are. There's going to be a time where life hands you a little piece of what? Welcome to Earth.
Get tough.
That's right. And that. But again, I don't know. We're getting a little off topic, but this is why parents, you have to do what you have to do. You have to prepare your kids for that. It's easy to teach them success. You got to teach them what to do when they fail. That's the hard part.
That's a big key.
And that's going to be the difference between success and failure in life if you don't teach them.
And don't you think we learn the very most during the most difficult times of our life?
Absolutely. The lessons that we take with us and we remember and sit with us and apply in our lives, the ones that we generally adhere to the most are the ones that we went the hardest path to learn.
You're right.
Sometimes,
You're right.
and that's how it is. But that being said, come on out Wednesday here, next Wednesday, to RSVP. Please, like you said, shoot the email to RSVP at CCFR. RW.
There you go.
or
Gmail.
Or Gmail. Gmail.com. And then, of course, you can like and follow the Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Facebook page.
Yes.
And then if you would like to shoot a message to that and say, hey, I want to come and eat 2 burgers.
Exactly.
We'd love to have them.
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you come back. We enjoyed having you at our meeting.
And come meet come meet the people that are
Yes.
making the decisions for your state or hoping to make the decisions for your state, especially like you said, we got Ward or District 1, CD1 here, going to have representation there. Meet the people that you're going to be voting for or against here in the coming months, and understand what you're voting for.
Right.
Ask them those opinions. Just because they're Republican or just because they're Democrat doesn't automatically mean you should agree with them.
Correct.
You should talk to them and listen to what they have to say. Hear what they have to say. Do their values line up with the values you do? You're probably going to find that most human beings don't line up in a R or line up in a D. They kind of line up with one or two things in everything. You know, that's how most humans work. Find out where this person lines.
Well,
and if they line up where you line up.
We always appreciate you inviting us to be here.
Anytime.
It's really our pleasure.
Anytime.
To come and talk with you. Janine has been my right arm on this, and I certainly appreciate what she does.
Absolutely. Real quick, while we got you here, too, always looking for new members to be a part of the Chaves County Federated Republican Women.
Yes.
Women are the kind of the main branch, but men are also part of it. They serve
We have associates.
like an associate or auxiliary type form.
Yes.
But you are equal footing as far as getting everything done and getting the work done and being a part of the organization and all that. So you can do it maybe as a couple, maybe the husband's
we have a lot of couples.
We have a ton of couples.
Yeah, that's probably the most popular way to do it.
We have a ton of couples. As a matter of fact, I think we have close 134 members and about 50 associates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So-
Once again, the reason why you're the largest in the state.
Yes,
And
we
we'd
are.
like to make it larger and then give your competitor or give your associates across the state more competition too.
We could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will do that.
Put it this way, that's all a good thing. When every one of these, and to fix New Mexico, you have to get involved.
Correct.
You live in a state that it was corrupt from the jump. Before we were even considered a state, this thing was a hot mess corruption. And I don't care what anybody says, we're still seeing the impact of that.
We are.
In 2024.
We are.
And the only way we're going to change it is you got to change the mindset of this state.
Correct.
You've got to get that, the cronyism, the good old boy slapping, the how things are done in this state is who you know,
Amen.
not what you know. Until that mindset changes, it don't matter who, even if there's the biggest R in the planet, governors and a legislative body that's all R's. If there's that same cronyism going on, it's just a hot mess as it is
Correct.
right now. You got to have that balance. You got to have fair, equal. You got to have transparency. You got to have the rules and people actually abide by them.
Exactly.
If you don't do that, then we got chaos.
And they have to have a moral compass.
And New Mexico is just this side of chaos.
Yes.
We're a stone's throw away from it.
You are so right. We are. Yeah, we're right there.
Absolutely. So come have a hamburger. Come hear the people that want to change the future of this state and get involved. And also, too, if you want to get more involved with these candidates, maybe you meet one of the candidates like, man, this person blew me away. Here's a chance to get involved in their campaign. Maybe you say, you know what? I love what you do. Can I be a part of your team here to help spread the word for your campaign? Guess what? Pretty sure they're going to say yes.
We're a big state. We're very spread out,
Absolutely.
especially these congressional people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to get more involved, this is an opportunity. And to be honest, if you come and you have your burger and hear those people and sound like a bunch of windbags to me, then you move on about your day. But at least you know what you're getting into.
You get a burger.
And you get a burger out of it. And I'm sorry. And
I think they will be impressed.
a day with a burger is better than a day without a burger.
I'm on the good side of it.
I think our people will be impressed with the people that we have speaking.
I think so too. And that's what I'm saying. My point is that you're not going to do that, but come with that. Come for the burgers and stay to feeling on the people that you're going to be filling the circles, the little ovals for here in June and in November here. So
exactly.
Good deal. Did we get it all? Is there anything we
got
wanted to
it
cover?
all in. My goodness, thank you. This was a quick.
No problem. We're fast and furious.
We are fast and furious.
Very good. Well, thank you, ladies. And,
Thank you.
We will
for-
see
for
you next
having us.
time.
We will. Thank you.
Very good. All right. It is time for us to take a quick break before news. Don't go away.
That lot was recently sold to a developer who quickly began construction. The Schlotzsky's in Roswell closed in late 2017, according to the Daily Press. In other fast food chain news, HTO will also soon be coming to the former Tasty Freeze building. And a second McDonald's is also rumored to be coming to Artesia soon, but no location is known yet. Thousands of acres of public lands listed for the next lease sale in June will not be in the sale after all. The Bureau of Land Management says it found that extractions of oil and gas in some areas could lead to contamination of the region's water table and collapse cave systems. The areas of concern were taken off the list after it was found they were known for so-called karstic landforms. Karst is a landscape formed by dissolved bedrock that is slowly eaten away by acidic water. The sale is scheduled for June. Right now, about 760 acres will be up for lease in Eddy County and about 359 acres in Chavez County. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, the other day when we had rain or the big possibility of rain, some of the baseball and softball games had to be rescheduled. And one of those was Roswell at Goddard softball. That was supposed to be Tuesday afternoon. While neither team, though, isn't slated to play until next week, they were able to slide that game over to Friday. So they'll be playing tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Roswell is 4-9. Goddard is 10-6. There is some softball I can tell you about. It's not a good result for the Dexter Demons, but they had a really tough task at hand hosting Lovington. Lovington sweeps Dexter 13-3 and 13-3. Yes, we checked to make sure it wasn't the same game duplicated. There were two different games. Next up for Dexter will be Ruidoso next Tuesday at, that'll be a doubleheader against the Warriors. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in the upper 70s to about 80 on the afternoon high today. High pressure settling into the Four Corners area. That'll hang around through the weekend. Clear tonight, and we're in the low to mid 40s, and then low 80s for the afternoon high on Friday. A little bit more breezy, but plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday both look sunny and warm. Our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street sell-off continues. Inflation still climbing. Tesla and Apple dragging tech again. Stocks selling off after another hot inflation update. The Dow Jones Industrial's down 422 points. The S&P lost 49. The Nasdaq down 136. Traders reacting to today's Consumer Price Index update. Inflation up 3.5% year over year in March, well above Wall Street's targets. March Fed minutes released today, and policymakers want more proof inflation is moving toward the target of 2%. Today's CPI update shows the contrary. It's got investors more concerned interest rate cuts could be pushed back. And Tesla leading today's tech losses down 3%. Crude oil futures climbing. West Texas Intermediate crude settled at $86 a barrel. And Delta Airlines stock down despite strong earnings. Delta posted record revenue for the first 3 months of the year, beating Wall Street targets. Still, the stock down more than 2% in the session. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Listen up, golfers. Grab your clubs and get ready for a fun weekend of golf for a great cause, because it's time once again for the Roswell Honda Classic Charity Golf Tournament. April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. This 2-day, 3-person scramble begins Saturday, April 20th with a double shotgun start Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 a.m. and 1 p.m., along with a golf ball drop Sunday at 9 a.m., with prizes for first place, second place, third place, longest drive, and closest to the pin. And a new Honda HR-V driver and putter with a hole-in-one. plus free barbecue, drinks, and beer for both days. The cost to enter is $450 per three-person team, with a portion of the proceeds to benefit the Gonzalez Hope Center. Get more info and register online at roswellhonda.com or register in person. Get your three-person team together and get signed up now. The Roswell Honda Classic, April 20th and 21st at the Nancy Lopez Golf Course. Sign up today.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Get your tickets now as Red Zone presents A Night with C.J. Stroud, Saturday, April 13th at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Previously announced as A Night with Jason Witten, Jason became unavailable, so C.J. Stroud stepped up to take his place. C.J. is the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Houston Texans and two-time Heisman Trophy finalist. Admission is free, but you must have a ticket to enter. Jason Witten printed tickets are still good, and remaining tickets are available at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation is courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about C.J. Stroud coming to Artesia.
Do you feel like there's something missing in your life? I challenge you to find someone who seems to be at peace no matter what good or bad is happening in their life. I would almost bet that person has found Jesus. In the Bible, there's a man named Zacchaeus who was a tax collector for the Romans. He was a Jew, but he worked for the enemy. He knew Jesus was in town and wanted to see who he was, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a tree to see Jesus. Jesus saw him and told him to come down because he was going to his house for dinner. The holy people didn't like this very much, as Zacchaeus was seen as a sinner and a traitor. But because of his encounter with Jesus, Zacchaeus said he would repay 4 times over any he had cheated and give half of what he had to the poor. Jesus told him that salvation came to his house that day. This man was seen as the worst of the worst, but when he found Jesus, all was forgiven. Jesus can do the same for you. Let's help you find Jesus and the forgiveness and peace that he promises.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? It's simple. Great selection, great savings, and great people. Right now, the lot is loaded with all new Hyundai models, including Elantras, Santa Fe's, and Palisades. And with 0% on select new, 5-year warranty, and 3 years free oil changes on all 2024 models in stock. Now's the time to trade up and save big. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Come check out the all-new and used car supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
It's one of those things we've all had on our mind. No matter how much we want to ignore it, we all know that wisdom teeth can cause pain, teeth crowding, and even infection. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. I am proud to be a part of an outstanding team who understands your concerns when considering wisdom teeth removal. Call us today and let our staff walk you through the process so that you are confident and prepared for your wisdom teeth removal. And don't worry, we have sedation dentistry options so that you can rest and feel at ease.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental. Call 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:56. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to have Aaron Dishman with Roswell Ford join us. Give us an update what's happening out there, any deals, specials, and just talk car biz with us here around 9:15 or so. News that's breaking now on the world, the internets and all that. O.J. Simpson has passed away, apparently. First we got a thing, and Roy saw it on Twitter, and then he was like, oh, I think it's fake, and then our sales manager texts me, OJ died, and he's like, yeah, he goes, but Roy saw it, they said it looked fake, and then sure enough, I saw ABC News put something up, which kind of said, all right, it's probably legit. Now they're showing it on the Fox News here, but OJ Simpson passed away yesterday at the age of 76. His family released a statement that says, on April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. That was a statement that the Simpson family issued I guess, this morning. So we don't know what type of cancer. So
okay.
I mean, I didn't even know he had cancer, so I guess he kept it pretty private. I don't think they got it out there. So
well, I saw R.I.P. Juice trending on Twitter. That's how I learned. That's how I found out about it.
Yeah.
And at first it seemed fake because then there was all this other I thought they were just talking about Juice WRLD, the rapper.
Right. Well, and when you said it, I'm like on Twitter scrolling, and I'm not seeing anything, and I'm like, certainly if OJ died, that's going to be all over the place, and it wasn't. And then right after Thomas texted me, and I'd scroll again, and sure enough, I scroll about 4 or 5 down. There's the ABC News link, and I'm like, okay, this is legit. This is probably. And then right after I saw that, read it, I started seeing it on the Fox News app channel here. So he's
Elon's doing something right because if he's beating ABC
well, Twitter's
News
always
to
the first
punch.
place, or X, whatever you want to call it now. It's always. But here's the thing: you've got to verify. Like Twitter's or X is like if you want to learn it real quick, you're like, oh, okay, there's something going on, but you can't just take it as faith. You have to go to find other sources. Like Twitter can get you, like, okay, something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what's really going on. Because if you just rely on Twitter, that's when you start finding out the ridiculous. And then OJ is actually not dead. That he bought his own island, and he's, I don't know, whatever comes out on Twitter is what they're going to put out.
Oh no, and also RIP doesn't really, even if it's trending, it doesn't mean anything.
It stands for rest in peace.
Oh no, I'm just saying, if something's trending on Twitter, it doesn't mean that it's true.
But it if there's enough people doing it or saying it, you're like, okay, there might be something going on here. Let me see what's going on. And so it just
like RIP Mr. President was like a thing last year. And
was it?
I was like, but obviously there was no.
Yeah, no, that's probably political. That's not that they didn't actually. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's political. People just say that.
Like that, yeah. That's just an example of that's just a spread word.
If you don't want to get your feelings hurt, stay off of Twitter because you could be out there and say the most wonderful thing on that and there's going to be someone that just craps all over.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bozo.
Yeah, you could be like, you could literally put a post on Twitter saying, "Hey, I just got done my chemo treatments. I'm cancer free. Yay!" And there'll be some people bagging on you and just being god awful to you.
Yeah.
It is 9:00. We need to pause for news. We'll be back on the other side of news here, and like I said, Aaron Dishman with Roswell Ford will join us next hour too. So, Town Hall News up next. We'll be back. Do not go away.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The threat posed by communist China tops the agenda as President Biden sits down with the leaders of a couple of China's neighbors.
The president will meet with Philippines President Marcos at the White House before they join Japan's prime minister for a trilateral summit. Talks are expected to focus on Beijing's South China Sea incursions, with Beijing attempting to isolate Japan and the Philippines. A senior U.S. official says Mr. Biden is aiming to flip the script and isolate China.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Milkshakes all around, and how about some chicken as well? Former President Trump's gift to a large crowd gathered around him at a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta yesterday. It was a warm welcome for Mr. Trump in the predominantly black neighborhood.
How you doing, Trump? I love you, man. I love you.
Another person in the crowd telling the former president, quote, "I don't care what the media tells you, we support you." Mr. Trump gave that woman a hug before handing out 30 milkshakes. There is word this morning of the death of O.J. Simpson. His family posting on social media saying that he died yesterday following a battle with cancer. O.J. Simpson was 76. After wide areas of the South were pummeled by powerful storms yesterday, today parts of Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky could experience some rough weather. Forecasters warn of the possibility of strong winds, damaging hail, flooding, and even the possibility of tornadoes. A House committee hears from FBI Director Christopher Wray this afternoon, the hearing focusing on national security threats. Inflation continues driving prices higher at the wholesale level. The government's Producer Price Index out this morning. It rose 0.2% last month from February. Prices up 2.1% over the past year. On Wall Street, the Dow down 215 points, the NASDAQ up 49. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Years ago, the junta's command over Myanmar is under increasing stress. It's fighting battles with ethnic and opposition groups on several fronts.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. Russia has successfully test-launched a new heavy-lift rocket from its Far Eastern Space Complex, a liftoff that comes after 2 aborted attempts earlier this week. The new rocket designed to launch intelligence and communication satellites. News and analysis at townhall.com. They have done it before, and they're doing it again. Japan is gifting the U.S. some cherry trees, and this time around it's 250 trees.
They will replace the hundreds that will be ripped out this summer as construction crews work to repair the crumbling seawall around the capital tidal basin. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida made the announcement during an official visit to Washington. President Biden says the gift is meant to mark the 250th anniversary of the U.S. in 2026. He says the trees are timeless, inspiring, and thriving. The cherry trees were first planted in 1912 as a symbol of friendship between Japan and the United States. Keith Peters reporting.
Utah state officials working to shore up a rural Utah dam after a 60-foot crack opened up. It sent water pouring into a creek, endangering some 1,700 people who live downstream. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your Thursday's going well. Sunny, nice out.
Yeah, I did the accent this time.
Ah, you did. You did throw in the little accento there. But is it a little breezy out? Looks like my weed tree's kind of moving around pretty good out there. Breezy
Your
out
what
there.
tree?
I call it my weed tree. Because this tree, it's now brown.
Yeah.
And I think it's called a breath of life tree or something. I had the extension office explain it to me years ago.
Okay.
But this tree used to be this big, but it was just green. Like the bark and everything was green. It looked like a weed.
Huh.
But it looked like a 20-foot tall weed. And they were like, no, it's a tree. But now the tree's brown. Like the bark is brown. So I'm like, okay, it's a tree. But back moons ago, it was just green. And it's not planted. Like, I don't think anybody planted it there. I think it just showed up there. You know what I mean? Because it's in the alley. There's a little, like, to give the inside baseball, like, I look out two windows and there's a little alley, and then it goes to the next building, and then there's a parking lot. Well, that little alley's, like, fenced off, and it's like grass and, well, I don't say grass, weeds and dirt and whatnot. And so I think elm trees and everything, you know, they just show up. And I think that tree did that. I think it just literally, because it's not in a place where it looks like it was planned to be there.
So, like, you think it grew from a weed seed?
I think it just blew in, and then it germinated, and we got this tree.
That's how nature works.
But I call it a weed tree. I know it's not, and it's got a name, but in my head, it's always known as the weed tree. So whenever I reference the weed trees moving, that's what I'm talking about. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually started years ago. It just hasn't died.
Whoa, there's a tree that grows weed?
Yeah, not that kind of tree. Yeah, if I did that tree been gone years ago. Someone would have chopped that down, and it would have been long gone. So, of course, breaking news is over the last few minutes here. O.J. Simpson has died. Apparently, he had cancer and lost his battle to cancer yesterday. Family released a statement. I guess a short time ago here. So that's all they're talking about on the news now. Went from like, what? Now it's just, I've been seeing something but OJ stuff for the last 10 minutes on Fox News here. So
yeah,
just rehashing everything, the whole history of OJ and, you know, the trial, the Johnny Cochran stuff, and then going to jail for trying to steal his memorabilia back in Vegas there and all that, which,
you know, it kind of reminds me, like, 'cause I know we talked about it once before.
Yeah.
But have you ever checked out that The People versus O.J. Simpson?
Oh yeah, I saw that
miniseries.
It was a good series.
Oh yeah,
it was a very good series. They did a really good job. As a person that lived through that and got to watch it all unfold on TV in real time, in real life, they did a good job of replicating it. Like the actors that play Marcia Clark and Johnny Cochran, and even when they crowbar. What's his name from Friends in there?
David Schwimmer.
Yeah, and John
Travolta.
Travolta plays F. Lee Bailey in there, and even they did a decent job of, because I think what's his name plays Kardashian.
No, Travolta plays Shapiro.
Oh, does he? I thought he played F. Lee Bailey and.
No, that was Nathan Lane.
Okay.
That plays.
Well, didn't Ross play
David Swimmer.
I couldn't remember his name.
Ross plays the Kardashian.
Kardashian, yeah, he plays the Kardashian. Yeah, which, by the way, that's why all the Kardashians are famous, because they're his kids for the other wife. O.J. Simpson begat the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was Uncle Juice.
Yeah, he begat them. So they are famous because of O.J.
Yeah, although It takes this 90s dance song and it uses the lyrics almost poetically.
Yeah.
Like perfect. And that, you know, that last scene where he's at the party and it's playing that, like, everybody, 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 everybody.
Right.
And that, like, the lyrics in that song, like, actually reflect what he's going through.
Yeah.
It's poetry.
Someone said they're famous because of a sex tape. Well, yeah, but that didn't get to that until Daddy was relevant to people. Otherwise, you just have a tape. Like everybody else does, apparently.
Well, also, the Bruce Jenner, right? Wasn't he related to
that came later. That came... Because Kardashian died. The lawyer passed away.
Yes.
And then she remarried Bruce Jenner, which turned into what we see today.
They also make Kardashian a much more sympathetic character in that than he actually was.
Oh yeah, well,
he knew about the bag and he knew about he hid it personally.
Well, and at the time,
secretly,
Kardashian was shady anyway because he was like when we was going down in real time, he was one of those people doing all the helping OJ kind of. Do OJ escape or whatever he was going to do at that next point. Yeah, he was very much involved in that.
Yeah,
because it was his friend, not before his lawyer. Then Kardashian put him in touch with Cochran and all the other the dream team that we know of today.
And the show portrays it like, what's going on? I have no idea. I'm not a part of this.
Yeah, they kind of botched. But like the people they had to play the prosecution, Marsha Clark and I can't remember the other guy's name.
That guy is in other movies.
Yeah, they did a good job of recreating those characters and roles. I think they at least from what we saw in the 90s when all the trials were going down, it looked very much Lance Ito, the judge, the whole thing. They
Cuba
were all
Gooding
famous.
Jr. surprisingly,
he
plays
did
a good OJ.
He did a decent OJ. Wasn't bad. Yeah, it's a very good. It's FX, and it's if you ever watched it, now they've got a bunch of those series, but People vs. OJ was kind of one of the first ones, but now they've got a couple on like fashion designers and things like that, and a couple of these other things.
Well, also when the media tries to like play it as like a black thing, you know, at the time and stuff.
Well, that's
when he delivers one of the best lines in the series.
And when you lived,
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah, and but. It was such a racial trial because that's literally, and then when the verdict came out, it was almost like expected that if you're white, you think he's guilty, and if you're not, he's innocent.
Yeah, that was their game.
Now, 20 years later, everyone's like, dude, that dude's guilty as crap. Like, even people that were running around saying OJ's free, and they're going, yeah, that dude did it.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like
they were moving like African heritage.
You were racist if you thought OJ was guilty. That was how it was.
They tried to make his house look like heritage African and stuff. Like, and it's like he's nothing like.
Well, everything turned famous because it was all that was on 24/7.
He was the whitest black guy to ever exist. Like,
well, and he was universally loved. He was beloved by the public, and that's why the white thing, and because he did hurts and he could translate into the circles where the quote unquote racist white people like he's a good black guy kind of. That was that mindset. That was very much that mindset. So, but anyway, he's dead, and we should move on. Well, and to be honest, I know he's going to get all this thing, and I'm like, but the guy's a murderer. At the end of the day, he killed his wife, killed Goldman. He did that. I don't care. I mean, the trial said one thing, but we all saw the evidence. We knew it happened.
Well, he was going to look for it. I thought he was looking for it.
Oh, yeah, he was going to look for his, but apparently wasn't on the golf course. That's where he looked afterwards. And he wrote that book, If I Did It, Here's How I Did It. And I'm like, come on, man. Why didn't you just admit it? You're literally doing everything but.
He was so close to finding them, too.
He was until there was no mirrors in the locker room, so you didn't find him.
Do I have enough time to plug in my thing again?
Yes, plug for tomorrow. Yes, please do that.
Yeah, it's just Stellar Coffee Company is hosting just a little fighting game event.
Yeah, a little game night for folks that want to play.
People who like the video games and stuff. And
good deal. And that's 6 p.m. at Stellar Coffee tomorrow night.
Yeah, 6 p.m. And it's on Facebook. The event's on Facebook. Just look up like Stellar Coffee or Roswell's Fighting Game Community.
Or I guess you can look up Roy Smith on Facebook if you have any questions, and Roy will get back to you on that too. So
yeah, I'll be friends with you.
There you go. He's looking for friends. Give him a friend. No, but come out if you want to come out, and if you just come out, you want to play some games and have a cup of coffee or tea and maybe a scone or a pastry or something, and come hang out.
Yeah, or a wrap or
a wrap or sandwich or something. Yeah, do your thing. Come out and have some fun. So, but that'll be at Stellar Coffee, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and come out and play some fighting games.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good deal. It is 16 minutes after 9. Aaron Dishman with Roswell Ford is going to join us here in a few minutes. But first, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in the upper 70s to about 80 on the afternoon high today. High pressure settling into the Four Corners area. That'll hang around through the weekend. Clear tonight, and we're in the low to mid 40s, and then low 80s for the afternoon high on Friday. A little bit more breezy, but plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday both look sunny and warm. Our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 53 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 52%. Winds currently out of the north at 9 miles per hour. Sunny, 77 for a high today. Northeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear. Expect an overnight low of 45 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny. Expect a high of 84. Winds will be breezy tomorrow. Out of the south, 5 to 15 early, 15 to 25 miles per hour. For Friday afternoon. Friday night, clear skies. Expect an overnight low of 51 degrees. Winds will remain breezy out of the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour. After midnight, those winds should drop down 10 to 15 miles per hour. For the weekend on Saturday, sunny skies. Expect a high of 85 degrees. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For Sunday, mostly sunny, 88 for a high. And then Monday, when you head back to work and school, we're looking at warm and sunny, but blowing dust and wind, high of 83. All right, it is 9:17. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute break, and then Aaron Dishman with Roswell Ford will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership. Taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. What you're about to hear will totally blow your mind.
It's the grand reopening at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude.
I interrupt this commercial for more breaking news.
Attention car buyers. The all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade, and we need them now. So there's never been a better time to trade and upgrade to a new Ford or quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for less. Making payments on your current vehicle and you want out early? Even if your current car is rusted, busted, and can't be trusted, Roswell Ford wants to spring you out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about payment or interest rate? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more lenders that can help with all types of credit, with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Get pre-approved today at RoswellFord.com. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or visit us online at RoswellFord.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
The Clovis Music Festival is back from April 18th through the 20th, and it's bigger than ever. 3 epic nights of bands and entertainment await you at the Curry County Event Center. Starting Thursday at 7 p.m., immerse yourself in the Pink Floyd Laser Spectacular, followed up Friday night at 7 with Mickey and the Motorcars, followed by country sensation Kip Moore. Don't miss Bowling for Soup Saturday at 7 p.m., followed by the legendary Gin Blossoms. Secure your tickets now at clovismusicfestival.com/tickets and be part of the excitement. The Clovis Music Festival 2024, brought to you in part by the City of Clovis Lodgers Tax. Don't miss out on the music event of the year.
The University of New Mexico offers affordable, top-tier education year after year. The New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship and free application for student aid may provide funding to pay for school. Apply to UNM and learn more about the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship at admissions.unm.edu.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And join us in studio this morning from Roswell Ford, Aaron Dishman with us. Morning, Aaron.
Hey, Mike.
Welcome back. How you doing?
Man, I am doing pretty good, actually.
Good deal. How's life in the car world this morning?
It's okay.
Good
It's
deal.
okay. You know, it's good right now. It's
We're not quite back to like pre-COVID, but we're so much closer than we were a year ago.
We're getting there, and I know this because of some of the stuff that the manufacturer's starting to pump out.
I'm starting to see interest rates, like you're starting to see zero come into the mix again.
0%.
And I got to be honest, I thought it'd be a long time if we start seeing that again. So that's a good sign.
That makes me excited. Yeah, because whenever these bigger, like Ford and stuff like that, when they get behind the rates, that really starts to push business. And part of it, I think, is they got some 23s that they're trying to clear out, as the 24s are coming in.
Sure, we are in that time of year where they're kind of like, we got to get rid of those late models going into and shoot, there'll be 2025s rolling on the lot here in a couple months.
Before
probably.
you know it, they're already asking for it. You know what I mean? So very exciting stuff right now. They got 0%, 1.9 for 72 going on the F-150 series. So it's been fairly exciting, fairly busy.
Sure.
We had radio remote out there on Saturday. We had hot dogs for the customers. And I think we were able to help 7 or 8 customers that day alone. So that was, very, very good. That was a blessing that we were able to do that. And we are going to be doing that again this Saturday, but this Saturday it's going to be really nice. It's not going to be windy, so we're actually going to have a bounce house out there as well for the kids. So please,
you can actually it'll actually stay down and not blow around the
dude. That was some wild stuff last weekend.
Yeah, it's New Mexico, and one day it's beautiful, the next day it looks like a war zone.
We had Les down there. Les.
Mm-hmm.
We had him down there for the live remote, and he was parked out front. But about 15 minutes into the remote, he was broadcasting live from the showroom because he could not. It was just impossible to be out there. His hats and shirts and tables were falling over.
And I imagine trying to talk on the radio sounds like you're in a hurricane because of the wind on the mic and everything else. So I get that. But how's and I know because I drive by there every day. It's right here on Main Street. Can't miss it. And I noticed day in and day out, both sides, the used car and the new car side gets a little fuller, a little fuller,
bit here and there,
a little bit more inventory sitting out there. And I don't think you're quite pre-pandemic, but inventory's pretty good right now.
It's getting there, We definitely have a good lineup of the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the new Bronco Sports right now, those are actually got 0 for 60 months on the 23 model.
Okay.
So we've been selling those pretty good, but we do have quite a few in stock, as well as a good lineup of Mustangs. We have a good lineup of heavy duties right now.
Okay.
We got some of the high output heavy duties with the new 10-speed transmissions. So
and Ford globally or whatever, they've kind of shifted the way they do their kind of their statement on. So like they're going heavy in the truck world, right? So obviously they go electric. They're going heavy electric as all the industry is, but Ford's kind of focused on, kind of with their cars and things, even steering in that electric world a little bit, but understanding that we ain't there yet with trucks and stuff. I think they'll get there, but to electric truck to do what we needed to do in Southeast New Mexico, we're
just
probably
not the right demographic.
We're not there
here.
yet.
Yeah, we do have a couple in stock, and they do have some really impressive offers on those things. They're actually the Ford Lightnings. They have up to $12,500 off on them. They got amazing interest rates, like 0 for 72 on some of the Mach-E's.
And they're great for travel and all that and stuff. But if you need a F-150 with a big gas engine, or you know what I mean,
we got those too.
They got them. And if you need to do the work,
we have an F-250, I think, that has the 7.3, the new gas 7.3, which is the big.
So they do understand that you got work to do, and they got the vehicles to do it. Yeah. But if you're ready to say, hey, I'm tired of paying gas and I'm tired of doing this,
we got that too.
They got you covered. And I've only seen one of the electric Mustangs in person once, but I hear they got some ups. Like
they are a little peppy.
They will go.
they'll get the job done.
Yeah.
And they offer a couple different models, so some are a little quicker than others. So, we got one in the showroom and 2 out on the lot, I think. So if you get, people stop by, check those out. We'd love for you to drive them. We'll show you how to plug them in, all that stuff.
Sure.
We got a charger on the side of the building. It's super easy.
Yeah, I imagine there is a bit of a learning curve when you go electric, but it's not like earth-shattering. A
lot of people end up getting the chargers just installed in their garage. You know what I mean?
And you hear and you kind of hear, with the power companies and stuff, they're starting to offer things you see on the news and TV that they're offering incentives to set that up in your homes and things like that. And so the world's going that way. It's going to happen.
It's pushing it.
So if you're ready to jump in, Ford can come on down to Roswell Ford. Let's get the ball rolling here.
We got those,
But
sure.
if you still need the gas engines and the heavy work stuff, then Roswell Ford got you covered there too.
Yeah,
Either
we got
way.
a good lineup of trucks right now, man. We got a Raptor in stock.
Ooh.
We have one of those
Raptors are all head turners. I
Man,
don't
those
care.
are great.
Yeah, even if you're not a truck person,
Oh gosh,
they still
they're
turn
just-
heads. You know
and
what I mean?
They're so comfortable, and so fun to drive. And then we actually have a Raptor R
Okay.
coming in, so that's the bigger, beefier version.
Okay,
It's
that's the one a little more muscular, a little more
expensive.
tough. Well, and that's it comes with
You
that.
get what you
That's
pay for.
Exactly.
And then we actually have the Bronco Raptor
Okay.
in stock. We have one of those. And we have probably, I'd say, a good 2 trucks worth of just assorted F-150s that are in transit right now. So very exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, Broncos are pretty broad, and I'm still kind of learning all because I see like 10 different versions, and I mean,
There's quite a few.
You got some that are more like a luxury SUV, but then you got more that are more like a rugged Jeep-like.
Yeah,
you know?
yesterday we shot a commercial for Facebook that's going to be out on the Bronco Everglade package.
Okay.
Comes factory stock with a 10,000-pound worn winch and a snorkel already on it.
Oh, wow.
Roof rails, bead locking rim.
So it's
everything.
ultimate high adventure if
Very,
you're ready
very,
to
very
go
aggressive
in the
vehicle.
middle of New Mexico's nowhere and do some four-wheeling. That's
You can go
got
water
covered.
fording through the Pecos or something. I don't
Yeah.
know what that thing's pretty extreme, but
Yeah.
we do have one of those in stock.
Okay.
And then you're right, they have the Black Diamond Edition, which is
and you
more of
kinda-
like a mall crawler.
Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to go take that out to a 4-star dinner afterwards. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
Then they got like of course convertibles and then you
Mhm.
got your hard tops, and so there's as many different Broncos as there is your style choosing. You
And
know,
they're
if you
really
want-
pushing the Bronco lineup right now because they're trying to pull people out of Wranglers. Ford is.
Yeah,
They're offering. An
They're
extra
competing directly with the Jeep Wrangler. Yeah,
And I being someone who's owned a few Wranglers in his life,
I own one now.
I really like the Bronco.
Okay,
I
I'm
think
a Wrangler guy. I love Jeeps.
but like even the rear hatch door, it's like on a hydraulic piston.
Okay.
Instead of just being like a free swinging.
So it's a little bit.
it's just they kind of like
a little bit more like thought was put into some of the features and things. you
Top comes off just like the Jeep. Doors come off just
Yeah.
like a Jeep. But they're offering $1,000 conquest cash right now if you trade in a Wrangler on a Bronco.
know? Okay.
And that, like for example, that fully loaded Everglade with the snorkel and all that thing's like in the mid 50s. You know,
That's
which-
actually pretty affordable.
well compared to a Rubicon.
I'm about to say you'd spend about 40 more grand on top of that
Right.
if you want the Jeep version of
I
that.
mean, it'd be a good amount of money, right?
Yeah,
So-
you drop 80 grand at least.
So just definitely if you get swing by, check out
Absolutely.
that. I like the Broncos, man. I think they're fun
I do.
to
I want to
drive.
check them out and everything. And I'm looking, and I keep seeing. The more I see them, the more I see on the road. I'm like, they're a good-looking vehicle.
They
and
are.
They're they're kind of, and I ain't gonna lie. I'm of that age where I grew up, with the Broncos and
Sure.
Bronco 2s, and before OJ made them famous.
Yeah. Man.
And I always dug them back then too. They
Yeah.
were always that because they were the epitome of free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like every person that had a Bronco or a Bronco 2, even the smaller version.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I go through the mountains. The image of you driving like through Colorado with snow cap. I mean, that was the Bronco image,
Mhm.
and that's what you think of
The
Bronco.
history of it is
Yeah,
serious.
absolutely.
I got back from a deployment when I was in the Army, and I went out and bought a Bronco for $3,500 cash, and it had 220,000 miles on it. 5.0 V8. It's a 1992,
And it was just getting warmed up.
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Me and
Yeah.
my friends, we took the top off.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it's at now.
And
We
they were
never
meant
put
to
it
drive
back
like
on.
500,000 miles on them.
They're awesome.
Yeah, like 200 miles was literally
Yeah.
just getting them warmed up. 200,000
Mm-hmm.
miles. They still had lots, and I know we live in a different world, and cars are built different than
Little bit
back in
different
those
now.
days. But you still get that same spirit, that same
Mm-hmm.
all the cool things that the Bronco evoked back in the day. It's all back, and it's all
awesome.
It's all
It's
there.
all technology loaded now.
But then you got the best of both
Big
worlds, where you got
touchscreens
the vibe of the Esther, but the fact that the seats are heated, and you know what I
Yeah,
mean,
no kidding, right?
or air conditioned,
Yeah.
or you got a big 15-inch display sitting in the middle of that
Yeah.
thing. That's a little different.
But we have some of those in stock for sure. They're selling really well.
Sure. Can you get can you go the other way with them? Where like I know you got the sports and things, but even when you're like, no, I want to go bare bones. I want I don't want power locks, power. You know,
I don't think I'll have to check on that, Mike.
Yeah.
I was because we took an 09 Wrangler in on trade, and it
Yeah.
has like crank windows, and
Yeah.
I was asking the guys if they'd ever seen a Bronco with crank windows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because there's
That
a
would be
certain
cool.
sect of people that less is more, and they're like, no,
Oh,
I want a
yeah.
lock that go. I want a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that does it. I don't need all
Might
this
even
other
want a
stuff.
little 6-speed transmission
You know,
or
and,
something.
and Broncos can fit that vibe to me. Like, I think you want something as much, but sometimes the one that's literally a bucket seat, a steering wheel, and you know what I mean? And,
Yes, sir.
and turn me loose. And a
Yeah.
gear shift of some kind, and let's go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I hear you on that.
And Jeeps and Broncos evoke those feelings.
Yeah, all these
So,
cars these days, man, they got these electronic dials that
Mhm.
do this and that, and it scares some people,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
I mean,
'cause
I love all that, but sometimes when you're in a Bronco or a Jeep,
you want to old school it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you buying a Rolls Royce and there's a roll bar in it. It just don't fit like it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
A roll bar.
You know what I mean?
That would be something.
But anyway, and of course, if you want nothing to do with Broncos or anything, you're looking. Look, I need a car that gets me to and from, or now we're getting to the point where kids are graduating.
Yeah.
You know, the summer months
We've
you're
had
going to
a
be
lot of
looking
that.
college cars for the kids going to college. Come talk to the guys at
We've
Ford.
had a lot of
They
folks
can-
driving through the last week or two that are looking for their grandkids, looking for their son or daughter. We got some less expensive stuff. I got some cars I got 2 or 3 under 15 grand. I
There you
got a
go. So whatever-
14 Honda Civic listed at like 12 and some change.
So if you're like, I just need something that's reliable that gets
Man.
me to where I got to go, and
I'm telling you. 03 Mercury Grand. Oh, what is it? Is it what's the big boat car?
Grand Marquis.
We
or-
have one of those.
Okay.
An 03 with 70,000 miles
Oh,
on it.
that's
with
it?
leather. Look, the interior looks brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate cruiser.
I wonder
It
if that
drives
was an
fantastic.
older person garage kept kind of thing.
Some guy at a Ruidoso traded
Okay.
it in and bought himself a used Frontier.
Good
a
for
nice
him.
used Frontier.
Yeah.
But
I
he's-
love when people take care of older cars like
Oh,
that
me
and you get
too,
them
man.
because 9 times out of 10 they're usually.
But we can sell that stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, we run it through the New Mexico inspections and the shops and all that stuff
Absolutely.
that we do. And then,
Well, and then some people don't like the modern things, you know, the fuel efficient and all that. Like, just give me this car.
this would be like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 car at
Yeah.
most when it's ready front line. So it's like, you know, you're looking for just, hey, I got my tax return finally. I got $5-6 grand. I'm
And-
gonna go down there to Roswell Ford to see what they got. We got something.
And cars were built different back then. So
They
if you're
were.
like thinking, I want to put my kid in a car that's got some metal around them,
that's a tank.
This one will get her done.
That's a tank. Those are big cars. There.
Yeah, they're built a little different.
They're like big Crown Vics. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
That's my first car was a '78 Buick Regal, and it
Oh,
was a
man.
tank.
that's awesome. It won't even fit in this room.
Yeah, it was.
It
a
won't even fit in this room.
Sky blue on top of it. It was
You
an
get
ugly.
those things going 70 down the highway though, and
I know.
you're falling asleep. They got recliners in them, man.
Well, and then you hit they have suspension like a luxury car, so
Mhm.
you hit the bump, and it's kind of like. Hence the reason we call them boats, because it's like riding in a boat. It's like,
Imagine coming down the hill there by Brantley Lake.
Yeah.
Oh man,
oh
you
yeah,
probably
it
get
was.
air.
But it's amazing. I loved it. But anyway, so there's even a little nostalgia in
We
there
got a
for you
little bit of
too.
that too.
And then of course, don't sleep on the service department if you need oil changes
You know
or
we
you
got
need
that
work
mobile
done.
service van, man.
Yeah, and they'll come
I've
to
used
you.
that myself. When I worked at Honda, they came to Honda and changed the oil in my F-150 Tremor on Honda's lot.
Ah,
Yeah, the
that's
mobile
kind of a
service-
baller move. I ain't gonna
I'm
lie. It's
telling
like-
you, dude, I felt privileged.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't even have to. I just gave this guy my keys. He pulled it in some shade and changed my oil, and
It's very convenient.
yeah,
It's very easy, and they
I
come to
still
you.
had my Ford Pass point, so I didn't even pay for that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Ford comps you on like the first couple oil changes.
So again, come talk to the Ford guys here,
yeah.
and
or at
of
least
course,
come have lunch on Saturday with us. It's
yeah,
gonna
come
be
out
fun.
this weekend.
Family
Come and
time.
bring the family and have lunch, and then walk the lot, check out the vehicles, and see if you're looking for something pre-owned or brand new. They got you either way.
Yeah.
And I know we've been talking with a lot of other folks and stuff, and we're kind of in a world too where on the pre-owned side, people are now getting new cars that they wanted, but they couldn't get during the pandemic. So they got a substitute. Like, yeah, I got an F-150, but I wanted it in.
I wanted a sunroof.
Yeah, I wanted a
Yeah,
sunroof, or I
yeah.
wanted it in a green, or I wanted different
Sure,
wheels.
yeah.
And now I got the one I wanted, but this car's like a year or two old and probably has no. It's basically a brand new vehicle.
That's good. We need
that
those.
and so if that's showing up on lots now
Yes.
because people are now that inventory, now that selection's better, they're starting to trade in perfectly good cars that just weren't the right color or didn't have the right seats
lately.
or something
We had a 2021 F-250 Platinum, had like 30,000 miles on it. It sold in a day. And then we just took in yesterday an F-150 Platinum. So we low miles.
Yeah.
I'm talking like off lease type vehicles. You know what I mean? So
like 2-3 years old and probably have low miles
still
and
under
well
factory
maintained.
warranty.
Yeah,
Just beautiful stuff. And
they're brand new cars with the exception of they were built 2 years ago. That's
Right.
basically the difference.
Because there for a while, you're right, it got tough to get inventory. And if you wanted to go out and buy it, you were having to pay a lot.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Over retail.
Yeah, it was supply and demand.
Yeah. It was a little
And
bit wild.
just
there
like
for a
every
minute.
other world, when the demand's way higher than the supply, the prices.
Yes, sir. You are
It's
100%
that's
correct on that.
That's business. That's how it works. So, but we're in better situations now.
better
That number 0 starting to show up
Mhm.
at the Ford dealership again. So come take advantage of it. You don't have to wait till Saturday. You can come on down here and right now. Come on
Yeah.
down and visit. They'll got folks to take care of you. But
We're there, man.
But come out Saturday. They'll have the Jolly Jumps out. They'll have food, grilling, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course they'll have an army of sales folks that are ready to take care of anything.
Yeah,
you
we
need
got
to take care of.
some good kids out there, man.
Yeah,
I
come-
like the team there. I've worked with a few of them before because we're under new management.
Yes, kind of new management, kind of
Yeah.
new mindset over at Ford.
So
just kind of
so Dale, our general manager, he's been with Mr. Crumlin for probably 5 or 6 years now, but he come from the Hyundai store.
Sure.
And I spent I don't know how long, probably a couple years over at the Honda store.
Gotcha.
And then we got a new finance manager. His name's Lico. Very nice guy.
And that's a good person to know because the finance people, they're the ones that work magic. Like they're the ones that have the relationships with all the lenders, and they kind of know.
Correct.
Like how far they can push them and how far they can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like, I bet I can get them to you know, what I mean, they just have those relations. And Leo, so that's a good person to know.
Lico, and Lico, I've watched him come up in the car business since he was selling cars, and he's a very impressive person.
Yeah.
Very clean cut, dressed very nice.
But that's why you let their folks talk to because they're the ones that it's like, hey, if we can't give you the interest rate you want here through Ford, let us talk to our lending partners. We got a whole bunch of them, and we'll work with you.
Yeah.
And if one's not playing ball with us, then guess what? We got 10 more that we can.
Yeah,
play
we
ball
got plenty of high level relationships with local credit unions even.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we can help anybody. We first time buyer programs, bankruptcies, foreclosures, repossessions. That's okay. We got you, man. We got somebody that'll help you.
It's a little different world when it comes. I mean, obviously, good credit's king, and you got an 800 credit score. You're walking in like a baller, doing what you want.
Sure,
that's life, and it's going to still be the way.
Kicking your feet up on the desk and
But
stuff.
the way people look at credit now is, most people don't have that. Most people
little
are
tougher.
floating in the 600s or wherever or lower, and it's and they're thinking, it's not. And it's different because and then variables change because it used to be the way they determine a credit score is like you pay your bills, then you're probably a good credit score. Now that's
It's
a
a little
very
different now.
Yeah, it's a way different factor, and so they look at credit differently. So what was 600 10 years ago and what's 600 now doesn't necessarily mean the same.
And that's one of the things that we're lucky to have at the Ford store is the actual Ford motor credit. Very lenient. It's one thing I noticed. It's the first time working for Ford. I've always heard rumors about how strong Ford motor credit was. And now that I work there, I do see it right away. They are very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
Low 600s, mid 600s. You can qualify for 0%.
Yeah.
Where other
That's
banks,
unheard of.
Other banks, you need to be like a 720, 740. ITINs, people that don't have social.
Yeah.
Ford motor credit, as long as you're paired up with somebody that has one, they'll
Excellent.
finance you.
So if that's your situation, come talk to the guys at Ford, and they can put you in a car. Even when you thinking, ain't no way I'm going to get approved.
You'd be surprised.
Come down. You never know.
Really.
You'd be, and for some people, that's their foot in the game. Like now that they got the car again, and if they're saying now that I can reestablish that credit, I can establish a history of good payment history. Obviously managing my income to debt ratio a little bit better on all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of, if you're trying to fix or rebuild, sometimes there's a foot in the door is to get a chance to do that again.
Right. Yeah.
And putting in a car, granted, you might pay a little bit higher interest rate that first time, but now you pay it off, you do your thing, and your next car, 0%.
And that's part. I think that's what a lot of people right now is they just don't know if they can qualify.
Yeah.
And what I say to those people is, just give us a shot.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've been doing this for. I mean, if you added up all of the experience of the managers, I bet you we got over 100 years of experience, right? So we're going to figure this out.
Absolutely.
We just need an opportunity.
Absolutely. And folks like yourself who have seen from many different angles the car industry.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's right, what's not right, you as a customer.
Yeah.
But even working, in other establishments, Crumlin and other dealerships over the years, in your experience, you learn you learn who does things the good way, who does things the bad way,
right?
And so let that experience work for you by
Right.
coming down and talking to Aaron and any of his guys, and they have that experience to say, yeah, that's a good deal, run with that, or you know what, they're screwing you, I could do better, and they'll be honest and upfront with you on that kind of stuff.
I'm very transparent.
Yeah,
because if you don't feel good about it, I don't want to sell you a car.
Sure.
And that's not to be offensive, but
Well, and the idea is for your establishing relationships.
Yeah.
Car buying is like you buy a car, and then if you had a good car buying experience there, odds are when it's time to get a new one, you're going to go back to the same place you had a good experience. And so that's kind of the mindset is sure, we want to make sure you're as happy as you can for this car, because when you're done with it, we want you to come back by.
Yeah, I want you to be happy. Yeah.
That's exactly
That's
what
where
it
we're
is.
at.
So,
it's all about, really, at the end of the day, Ford doesn't care how many cars. Well, Mr. Crumlin does. But really all they want to know is that their customers are being taken care of.
exactly. And
that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah,
and that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So because and that's just it. We talk the car industry, whether you're a Honda or Ford or Chevy or whatever. Everyone has their favorites. Everyone has their loves, whether they're their own personal experiences.
Sure.
And we're not, you can have those arguments all day, but you're never going to win them because people are like, you're a Ford guy, you're a Ford guy. You're a Chevy guy, you're a Chevy. That's what it is. But we all get that. And let's face it, there's standards. All these cars are good vehicles, whether you buy the Ford or the Chevy.
They're
you
all
see it
good
in the
cars.
But the difference is what happens after that.
Right.
When it's time to get your first oil change, when it's time to do some service on that vehicle, there's time when something breaks down on it. What happens next?
Who are you gonna call?
And that's where Ford and that's what we're talking
That's
about
where we
here.
set
It's
ourselves
like so we can have the debates all day if you're a Jeep person or a Bronco person, and no one's right because you're both right in your own heads. You know what I mean? Because that's what you like. You like what you like. And so we're not going to have that debate with you, but we'll have the debate is, you buy that Bronco for us, you're gonna have a lot of service, you're gonna have a lot of extras that come with that. So when life happens,
when I was selling cars, I used to always tell my customers, all right, if you buy this car, I come with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I still today have customers that call me from other dealerships I've worked at. Hey, this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I need help with this situation. So that is a real thing there. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
It's relationships.
To have a support system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's about relationships and about earning business and earning trust.
Yeah.
And because let's face it, buying a car is probably the second largest purchase most people make in their life.
It's easy for us because we're in the business.
Sure. You see it every day.
We don't feel the emotions that are involved in it.
You're not the one dropping $40,000 or whatever on something.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't. That's why I always try to teach my guys is, but imagine you're sitting in the other seat.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel right now? You're looking at an $80,000 truck.
Yeah.
Sure, it's 1.9, but
Sure.
that payment's still big.
Yeah, you're sweating it.
Yeah. It's like, and to us, it's just another day at the office.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
but for them, that's years of work. That's years
a big
of
commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I feel you on that.
You
big
guys
time, man.
understand that, and that's why they want it, and that's why they treat you as such when you come in there and talk to you about it. They get it. This is a big deal for most people, and not all of us have disposable income where we can walk into a car dealership like it's Walmart and buy 2 cars and walk out. We can't do that.
Yeah, that's correct.
And
I'm
so,
telling you, man.
And you get and that's what your people. So come see the new vibes over at Roswell Ford here.
Man,
Come
it's awesome. We got a lot of energy and
Yeah.
stuff happening. We moved all the cars off the new and used lot the other day and had the street sweeper go through and sweep off the lots.
Nice.
And then we had a real heavy downpour afterwards, so it looks real good now.
Yeah. And of course, they recently remodeled that building a couple years ago.
A couple things. They did a couple things.
I mean, it wasn't like an overhaul, but I know they did quite a bit of updates.
They knocked out a
and
few
changes.
offices and made some parking spots for some classic cars in the showroom and made it look a little fancy.
Because, I mean, that building's been around a while. And
there's been talks of maybe a new building, but I think everybody's kind of on hold right now because the world's so expensive.
You ain't lying.
You know what I mean?
It costs a lot more money to build a new facility today than it did a couple years ago.
Maybe in 2019 or something, So
maybe when the rest of the world catches up to the car industry on getting those interest rates down and everything.
Guess we won't find out till later this year, huh?
Exactly. But in the meantime, come on down, come talk to the staff, come out this weekend and come.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Have some fun.
88 degrees and sunny,
it'd be
no
nice.
wind. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, and then come see the cars. Come walk the lot. And of course, if you can go online, go to Roswell Ford's website,
RoswellFord.com,
and you can do a little pre-looking if you want. And then once you, and then if you want to kick the tires and do a little bit more investigating, you can.
Yeah, we got most of our used car. We have a photo booth. Mr. Crumlin built a photo booth.
Okay.
Over behind the Honda store.
So you can kind of do a whole.
So most of our cars just run. We do the trade-in thing, clean them, put them in there. Takes photos for us.
Turns it into a photo shoot.
Yeah, the ones that haven't been there yet, we run outside. We throw some temp photos on there, put a phone number on the picture. So if you want more photos of any of those, just call us.
Absolutely.
We'll send it. We'll text them to you.
Yeah, if you kind of want to get because I'm looking for a particular vehicle and you want to see. Oh, they got 3 of them at the lot right now. Let's connect, and then you come down and they'll get them all lined up for you and let you look at them.
Yeah, we got some good mix on the used. We got heavy duties, diesels. We have a TRX.
Nice.
Yeah.
The selection's pretty good right now.
It looks good over there.
Yeah, so come on down.
We got some big stuff coming at the end of the month, so stay tuned. It's going to be a whole new look outside for a couple months.
Good deal. But great deals on the 2023 still on the lot.
Yeah, right now the 2023s are the truck series, F-150, 1.9 for 72 months on the 2023s. 2024s have 2,500 incentive. No 1.9 on those yet.
But some good cash backs on those. Yeah.
Good cash incentive.
Yeah.
0% on the Escapes, 0% on the Bronco Sports. Man, I had some notes. Hold on. I don't mean to take up all your morning.
No, you're good. No, this is exactly what we're here for.
Let me see here. 0% for 60 on 23 model year Bronco Sports. 0% for 60 on 23 model year Explorers. 0% 66 on 23 model year Escapes.
I wonder, again, this is nostalgic Mike again. Because the Escape's kind of taking the role of the Bronco 2. You wonder if they're gonna debut a Bronco 2 at some point.
Maybe.
But to be honest, in modern times,
Ford's always up to
the Bronco
something,
2 is really the Escape now.
Ford always has their sleeves rolled up and they're on to the next thing. They really like to be like what I consider an industry leader.
Yeah,
they want to do it first.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then that's cool.
Well, I mean, you think of history and cars, and the name Ford is arguably the most historical name in cars in American history.
Yeah,
you think about it. I mean, the assembly line, all the stuff, all that is in the history of Ford, and that carries a legacy with it. It's America.
You seen Ford versus Ferrari?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
Is that Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Man, what a great movie. Man.
It is a great movie, but I mean, just if you're getting that America, Ford's
kind of that.
It is as American as it gets. So, Aaron, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover?
No, I don't think so. I want you guys to come down and check it out.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we're doing the lunch for the customers on Saturday, right?
Yes.
So that's all for you guys.
What time is everything kind of getting underway out there?
I think we're supposed to have a live radio mode from 8 to 3.
Okay.
So pretty much all day.
So they're starting early.
Yeah, we'll be there from 8 to 7 or later, whenever the last customer leaves.
This is just pro tip. If you have your heart set, you're like, I want a car. We're driving off the lot with a car today. Earlier the better.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee there won't be as many cars Saturday morning as there will be Saturday afternoon.
That's correct.
On the lot.
Yeah. We will I'd imagine we'll probably sell 10 to 15 cars this weekend.
That's
so selection will slim down a little bit.
And if you're really looking, I wouldn't even wait till Saturday. Come on down today.
Yeah, just stop in. We're there all day. Yeah. I work every day. I'm there every day.
Yeah. Come on down, visit, and
sometimes I hang out there on Sunday afternoon. Open up the doors. I ratchet strap them open. Let people know we're there. I just do some work, and
just kind of
somebody walks in, they walk in.
Yeah, I'm here anyway. Might as well see if they need a vehicle. So don't come in. He's not a mechanic, so don't come in looking for.
Had one guy come in, just needed to use the bathroom. I was like, hey, man, yeah.
Come
cool.
on in. It's here.
That's what we're here for.
He's not going to do your oil change or nothing, but he'll see.
Nah, not dressed like this.
Yeah, some things are better left to the experts.
Yeah. I'll probably over-tighten your drain plug or something.
Yeah, service guys will be mad. Don't let him in there anymore. But Aaron, as always, appreciate the visit. And come on out, Roswell Ford. If you have any questions, come see him. Come RoswellFord.com. And if you want to come and preview the lot before you come on out. And then don't forget, this Saturday, the big kind of shindig. Come out and bring the family, have fun in the Jolly Jumpers. Come eat and come see the great deals that are happening.
I'm going to ring your bell, okay?
Go for it. It takes a risk. There, perfect.
There you go.
There's a certain risk action.
It's like one of them old. It's like I'm trying to check into the hotel. It's late. It's like 11.
But that one's got a little finicky on it. It needs some work. So if you hit it wrong, it just kind of. But if you put enough wrist action on it, it'll get you good.
The flick.
Yeah. Need that.
Cool, man.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank
as
you,
always.
Mike. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, it is 9:51. Let's pause for news and Hannity update. Quick break as well. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. Construction is underway at the site of a new Schlotzsky's in Artesia, the site near 10th and Main Street, which has long been owned by the city and vacant. That lot was recently sold to a developer who quickly began construction. The Schlotzsky's in Roswell closed in late 2017, according to the Daily Press. In other fast food chain news, HTO will also soon be coming to the former Tasty Freeze building. And a second McDonald's is also rumored to be coming to Artesia soon, but no location is known yet. Thousands of acres of public lands listed for the next lease sale in June will not be in the sale after all. The Bureau of Land Management says it found that extractions of oil and gas in some areas could lead to contamination of the region's water table and collapse cave systems. The areas of concern were taken off the list after it was found they were known for so-called karstic landforms. Karst is a landscape formed by dissolved bedrock that is slowly eaten away by acidic water. The sale is scheduled for June. Right now, about 760 acres will be up for lease in Eddy County and about 359 acres in Chavez County. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And then you look at the other crimes that they're committed, and they just let this go on and on and on. That's why they have blood on their hands. And if I end up being right, and terror cells are forming in this country, and they plot, plan, and scheme on 9/11, on October 7th or worse, and it happens, and a lot of dead Americans is the result of all of this, they have the blood on their hands. Just like all of the people that have been murdered, all the homicide victims, all of the crime victims, you can blame the Democratic Radical Party and Joe Biden for allowing and aiding and abetting in this. This is a prescription for an unmitigated disaster. You want to talk about a threat to democracy? This is your biggest threat to democracy.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in the upper 70s to about 80 on the afternoon high today. High pressure settling into the Four Corners area. That'll hang around through the weekend. Clear tonight, and we're in the low to mid 40s, and then low 80s for the afternoon high on Friday. A little bit more breezy, but plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday both look sunny and warm. Our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. A gauge of inflation at the wholesale level, the Producer Price Index indicates inflation rose 0.2% last month, was up 2.1% from a year earlier. Consumer inflation remained persistently high last month. The government's latest report will likely give pause to the Fed as it considers how many or even whether to cut interest rates this year. The European Central Bank is leaving rates unchanged. For now, the ECB was not expected to adjust rates at this time. China is sanctioning 2 U.S. defense companies over arms sales to Taiwan. It freezes the assets of General Atomics Aeronautical Systems and General Dynamics Land Systems held within China. Lufthansa and a union representing cabin crew have reached a pay deal, ending the last of several disputes that have led to recent strikes impacting Germany's aviation sector. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Artesia General Hospital's family practice providers support the healthcare needs of every member in your family, no matter their age. With locations in Artesia and Carlsbad, our compassionate experts offer a full range of primary services and can help manage chronic conditions, treat illness and injury, and coordinate specialty care. Whether you need a medical provider for your entire family or are getting on track with your annual checkup, we're here for you. Reach out today at artesiageneral.com/family.
The need to grow past our basic capabilities and experience the impossible will forever keep aviation technology evolving. Within the Aviation Maintenance Technology program at ENMU Roswell, students thrive knowing that the faculty and community are supporting their success. ENMU Roswell is dedicated to empowering students through hands-on skills training in a nurturing environment. To learn more, contact us today.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:57. Got a couple minutes here before they kick me off the radio for today. If you missed any part of our show, I invite you to go back and check it out at your leisure. You can log on to ksvptv.com and click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. All of our interviews are there from, well, since the beginning, but you got to scroll. But they're there. And then, of course, you can also go to our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall and find our interviews there as well. As far as what we had on tap for today, we had New Mexico State Rep Jared Hembry, represents District 59. He joined us, had a great conversation with him in the 7 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, we replayed our interview we had with the ladies from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. Their next meeting is next Wednesday at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center, 11:30. They've got a great panel of guest speakers and a pretty good lunch from Peppers on tap for that one. And then, of course, just a few minutes ago, we talked with Aaron Dishman from Roswell Ford, talking about their big event on Saturday. And, of course, got great deals on vehicles, both the pre-owned and brand new side of the dealership there. So swing on by and take a gander at what they got for you. So I had that. And then, of course, we have all of your features and all that there. But you can go back and check out any of those interviews at your leisure. I have so when I started this hour, that's kind of when everything was kind of breaking nationally about O.J. Simpson passing. Died of cancer at age 76, in case you're just hearing it. However, I have the TV on here in the background, and ever since 9 o'clock this morning, there's been nothing but O.J. Simpson stuff. I've literally, every time I look, they're still talking about O.J. And at 9:59 in 40 seconds, they're still talking about O.J. So, wow. I'm just like, how much is there to talk about? But anyway, it's new, fresh. All right, we got to go. Have an amazing day. We're done. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Former football star O.J. Simpson has died of cancer at the age of 76.
O.J. Simpson was a football hero, a Hollywood actor, and the subject of what became known as the trial of the century. Simpson played 11 seasons in the NFL, mostly with the Buffalo Bills. He was the first running back to rush for more than 2,000 yards in a season. After retiring, he went into broadcasting and acting, appearing in the Naked Gun movies and the Towering Inferno. His 1994 trial for murder in the deaths of his former wife and her friend gripped the nation with wall-to-wall live coverage. Simpson was acquitted but later found liable in a civil trial.
Correspondent Margie Saraletta reporting. Also at townhall.com, severe weather wreaking havoc with floods and damaging winds across the south.
Severe storms across the Gulf region on Wednesday caused damage from Texas to the Florida Panhandle and flooded streets in New Orleans. In Slidell, Louisiana, an estimated Category EF1 tornado damaged dozens of buildings. Chris Kaufman is the fire chief for St. Tammany Parish.
We had to evacuate more than 50 people from this structure. No fatalities, a couple of injuries, but just amazing that we got through this area, how bad the damage is.
In Texas, flooding led to water rescues in Jasper County. There was heavy damage to a church in Port Arthur. And in Katy, Texas, a severe thunderstorm collapsed part of the roof of a Firestone repair shop, flinging an air conditioning unit into the parking lot. I'm Jennifer King.
Producer prices rose in March from a year earlier at the fastest pace in nearly a year, offering more evidence that progress against inflation may have stalled this year. The Labor Department reporting its producer price index rose 2.1% last month. From March 2023, biggest year-over-year jump since April. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 83 points, the NASDAQ ahead 116. More at townhall.com.